Howdy. Welcome to this episode of It's Your Birthday, the only podcast that gets you a gift every single week, and this week is no different, and that gift, as always, is video games. I mean, from your desktop to your laptops to your pop tops to your skirt, the block
drops.
See who got the grape. Who got the purple? I don't know.
Dude.
Yeah.
What a good song. I can't believe you'd never actually heard that.
Dude, I never heard of it, but that week was all I heard. So it was a pretty good
Dude,
week.
The hyphy movement in hip hop did a lot of good, I will say. There's a lot of just raucous, have a good time and Ghost Ride Your Car songs out there. Just
there's quite a bit of ghost riding that whip. Have you ever seen anybody actually ghost ride a whip in person?
Oh, of course.
Okay, I just asked. Some people haven't. I'm just checking.
If you're familiar with the Texas area, I've been to a lot of talking to the people out there. I know you are. You don't have to lie to me, but
I'm not familiar at all.
There were a couple times.
Like a city?
It's kind of like a city. It's one of those.
Oh.
Texas, you can fit 3 rushes inside of Texas. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, you can fit the whole of the United States 4 times into Texas, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know why you would do that. It sounds like a real let's just move Bikini Bottom away from the giant fuzzy worm situation. I don't know why you would want to physically fit things into other states. Because they're fine the way they are. You don't need to literally move every state into Texas. It's a stupid idea.
Yeah, you do. I mean, Texas is asking us to. I mean, it turns out every state is coming to Texas right now anyway for some unknown reason.
Yeah, it's Joe Rogan's here. That's why.
Yeah. Well, he's in Austin, so you guys can all just keep moving to Austin. That's fine. Fill that place right up. That's totally fine. We're already full in Dallas, so feel free to just go there. Hey, Houston, I hear is a place you can go. I wouldn't recommend it, but I would recommend it over Dallas in this current scenario I'm creating.
I don't know a single person alive who I would recommend to live in Houston for the rest of their lives.
Oh, I would. It's any number over the 3 to 4 million people we already have in this city. So if there any of you above that want to go somewhere else, that's fine. You can, because we're full up in Dallas. I swear to you, we are.
But yeah, ghost riding whips so growing up around like Garland, Texas.
Right.
If you just happen across some car shows sometimes, and you'll just see a bunch of guys in a parking lot with their donks and their hydraulic. Like, dude, it's like something out of a Fast and Furious movie, but it's happening in your backyard. It's really something to behold.
That's true. Well, yeah, because, I mean, actually, not even in your backyard, just in your regular public streets right in the middle of the stoplights, just at any time whenever they feel like racing or doing donuts in an intersection, they can just do it because it doesn't seem like anybody cares here.
Actually, like, it's actually become, like, its own epidemic in a way, like, not a joke.
Yeah. One side effect of the pandemic and the streets being clear for a couple weeks, everybody got really addicted to just driving around and going crazy, and so now they can just do whatever they feel like.
Here's an article talking exactly about what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. I don't understand.
They're fast, we're furious. How street racing intersection takeovers became a neighborhood problem.
I also quickly like that it just said. It just said be a nosy neighbor was the pop-up, as this is, hey, you can hear fucking street racing from miles away, basically implying you should do this too.
Yeah,
this
look
is
at
really
this.
Cool.
I love getting somewhere, you know. I
love dude, it's just there's like at least 8 lanes of traffic or more that are just blocked as people just decide it's their turn to have fun and fuck everybody else. Like that, last week when I was talking about having a courtesy officer that just burnout style drives people off the road, I would fucking if a car just came and T-boned the side of that car, I would feel so good. Like if these dumbass giant trucks that are also a plague to this city just smashed right into the side of that car, I feel awesome.
Just right there, yeah. No, I
just crushed them because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this attitude out here.
So I work toward like I guess like Oaklawn and like Uptown in Dallas, and like there's been a lot of issues with that over there, like in at least in downtown, right?
Yeah.
And so I was talking to a coworker of mine and my boss, and I was just like, what is stopping these people from just opening a track somewhere where they can just go do this? You sign a waiver, like, hey, you fuck your car up out here, it's on you. Totally legal, totally. Like, I ain't want to be like a legal guy. I ain't like one of those dudes that's like, oh, this isn't legal. Like,
we know that.
I'm not going to be one of those dudes that calls the cops on everybody, But
right.
At the same time, it's like, if this is such a problem, just go do it somewhere where nobody gives a shit.
Yeah,
and
well,
I guess there's their answer was there's other regulations against that. And it's like, if people want to buy these cars and soup them out and shit, I don't fucking blame them for wanting to show off. But at the same time, it's like, dude, I got to get to Dairy Queen and feed my kids. And I'm sitting here at Lower Greenville at the red light, and you're just fucking twerking your ass out of the driver's seat, spinning in circles. Like, come on.
Yeah, well, see, here's the thing. If you open up a track, it costs money. 2, you'll have to probably have an actual license, and something tells me a lot of these people don't. Because they're just doing a bunch of banana shit in these cars completely illegally. I can't imagine you carry a license if you drive around like this. Like, there's no fucking way you have identification on you if you act like this. Or a license at all, which is super cool.
Bring that back up, because there were some stats in here.
Yeah, well, I also saw... oh, okay, that's police reports. I thought that was showing like what kind of tires tracks were left, and if you happen to notice the grit, you can call them and let them know you found that tire.
Yeah, the still smoking skid marks on the concrete.
Yeah. I also like that our podcast has devolved into the first 20 minutes being Dallas traffic every week. There's no
hell yeah, brother.
It's just every week it's some Dallas traffic.
When we said we were like expanding the like horizons of this show and like what we would talk about and what we would do in the format, in the back of my mind, I was like, man, wait till they hear about Dallas traffic, dude. Wait till they hear about this shit.
This is mostly just a deterrent from people moving here. That's all I hope this accomplishes, is just don't move here.
Every week we should come up with a new reason, and we should come up with some may not be true, but we would leave it to their imagination.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the amount of people is enough. I think is the reason. There's too many of us, and then they're able to drive cars, so that's twice as bad. So I saw 4 wrecks yesterday in like just on Greenville, which is cool. I actually hung out with Trey the other day, and he was telling me that when he works. He was working in, what's that sinful place near Dallas? Deep Ellum. And he was saying, there's a shooting, at least 2 shootings every weekend out there. So he doesn't want to work there anymore, which I totally understand. Wouldn't want to either. Dude, Deep Ellum, I mean, I feel like we've talked about it before. Probably last week, to be completely honest.
Just
probably last week. But Deep Ellum, dude, it could be the second coming of Christ, and he could be handing out $100,000 bills that are legal tender, and they're like, "Where's Jesus coming at?" And they're like, "Oh, he's gonna be at he's gonna be down there.
He's gonna be at Trees."
Yeah, he's gonna he's gonna be at Trees. They're like, you know what? I think I'm okay. And like, well, he's gonna move across the street to. What is it? I don't know any of the bars anymore. I can't remember the names of any of the places. Sure.
There's the trailer park. I think. That's
there's double wide and single wide, but those are like sort of single wides on Greenville, double wides like sort of outside of Deep Ellum.
It's like a couple blocks away. Yeah.
But it's like not in the deep in the heart of bullshit.
They got a Buzz Brews over there. Curtain Club was there, but that's no longer a thing.
Oh, Buzz Brews, dude, poor guys over there. I would never want to work at that Buzz Brews or any food place that is open past 7 o'clock down there. Forget it.
Oh, they got a fucking Cafe Brazil there, dude. That's That's like god tier.
Sorry,
breakfast
for
food.
them. I feel bad for them. I really do, because it's probably miserable.
Yeah, but nobody would go there if Jesus was shitting gold bricks. Like,
well, the thing is everyone would, and that's again why I would be out of there. It'd be even worse than normal. Or maybe if Jesus was out there checking sin, maybe then you could clear the streets up a bit. Like if he for sure was coming there to see what was going on.
I mean,
but yeah, I'm
I think a bigger threat to Dallas is the big giant purple tickle ape that comes out of the I-30 bridge and at midnight and just starts tickling people.
Yeah. Or the giant eyeball that can peer into your soul and sort of give. If you put your hand on the giant eyeball in downtown, it'll determine your past, present, and future. But you can't change it. Once you know it, that's it. So it'll determine when you die, which turns out will be in traffic.
You're basically in a prison where you see your life's trajectory and no way to change it. So
and you can't do anything about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all you do is
you have to cook a bunch of food over the year, and we have to feed it to big techs during the fair every year, or else Texas becomes a crater. That's the
generally
other thing you have to do.
Is usually every year there's a giant bout between big techs and that giant purple ape you mentioned, to sort of for street cred and to sort of see who controls the area for the next 6 months. And goddamn, if Big Tex hasn't won Fair Park every year,
dude, that night in the Cotton Bowl Tuesdays during October at the fair, man, that fight, that's something. A few people die though, so you may not want to spectate it or just live in Texas at all.
You probably just don't move here. Yeah, that's actually probably a good one. I would say maybe just don't move here at all, because it's really dangerous all the way around, and I just don't think it's worth it to you or your family. Yeah. There was actually the thing about, I found this out about Big Tex because our boss has a photo of Big Tex, right? But at his original location. So apparently what it was is there's like this really small town that built that as a Santa Claus and had it dressed up as a Santa Claus. And then I guess whoever in Texas was like, I want it, I'm going to buy that. And they go, I guess you can take our heritage. You can take this thing that's for our small town. And they're like, sweet. Now that's our Texas. But yeah, Big Tex is a silly guy. He's a silly goat, and he fights a giant ape for dominance. But he
didn't he come from like Michigan or like some northern state or something? Like, or was it? Because I know he was. He wasn't originally a cowboy, so I don't know.
No, he was Santa Claus. He was originally Santa Claus. And that's not a joke.
It's no down south, kind of southerned up Santa. It was just a straight up Santa.
No, it was straight up old ass Santa. It looks like if Santa worked in the coal mines, and that was like what the whole town pulled their money for, is to make a giant Santa for themselves. And then Texas came in and was like, we're a oil country, give us that Santa. And
throw some Cavenders on that motherfucker.
Yeah. Give him some golf clubs and a fucking pair of cowboy boots
and an F-250 that without anything in the fucking bed of it.
That's what his shoes are. They're both two big Ford F-150s. Super Duties.
I do love that at the fair. So nobody goes there for the music, or at least nobody I know goes for the music. But
it's a car show for cars that get released this year. It's not even like classic cars. They go, do you want to see the new Fords out here and eat deep fried food? And you're like, I guess. And then they're like, we could see this guy do birds for a second, but that's only for a 10-minute window every 19 hours.
Okay, so.
Or you can watch a pig shit in a barn for a while.
Yeah,
I hate the fair. I'm sorry.
There's a couple things I love. Hold on, I'll go into the couple things I love and that I try to do every year.
Yeah.
But before that, like the music stage, it's like the Toyota music stage or something, and they just have these giant trucks like on rafters, like all the way above this thing. And I just always think to myself, like, what if some like C grade fucking band playing at 10 a.m. at the fair on a Wednesday just got crushed by a fucking Tundra? Like, it'd be pretty fucked.
They make sure, I mean, honestly, that's the Texas way to go out. Getting killed by a F-250, dude, that Super Duty just falls through the ceiling. While
during
Kid Rock
truck
is playing.
Month.
Come on. Yeah, while it's truck month, I mean, what other way to go out? And you put your ashes in an oil can and fucking burn it in your son's truck? Your son gets to burn it in his dad's ashes in his fucking Super Duty.
Hell yeah.
As he drives 20 miles an hour to avoid any rain. Yeah, there's like you make a what you do. Here's what you do. So when your dad inevitably gets crushed at a Florida Georgia line show at the actually they're too popular to be at the state fair. So if your dad gets crushed,
Drowning Pool is like the most popular.
by Drowning Pool, I mean
Texas,
they're local,
Dallas
so that counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drowning Pool gets crushed. They're crushing it as much as they can anyway. And then a Super Duty falls on your father. What you have to do is you have to get him cremated, the parts you can still find, and then have him turned into Trucknuts.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Put that on the back of your Super Duty F280 51
with your come and take
diesel.
it vinyl sticker on the back of your truck. Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody knows.
And I think that the fair's a waste of time.
We'll talk about video games in a sec, but the 3 things you have to do. The 3 things you absolutely have to do.
Is not go, save your money, and go to work instead.
Okay, I guess those are options. But if you're somehow carried into the fair by an eagle and dropped, and you're there and you have no chance to escape, and all you have is the money in your pocket to spend, and you need
it won't
to
be
nourish
enough.
yourself.
I'll tell you that it won't be enough for the fair.
Okay, you were blessed by a wizard with infinite coin. I'm trying to just set up a scenario where you would be there. Let's just say you wanted to go. Let's just say you wanted to go. Not you.
I see.
But
you said unbelievable scenario. That is an unbelievable scenario. Go ahead though. I'm gonna let you finish. But listen.
1, you gotta go check out that. You gotta go check out that food court. You gotta go check it out because they got some good shit. They got some good shit every year. Every year there's some shit going on over there. All right. One year I ate a fucking bacon wrapped deep fried cinnamon roll, bro. One year, dude, and I wanted to die.
That following year I had 3 heart attacks in an hour.
Oh, dude, yeah, you get the sweats. So you get some cheese curds, you get some alligator bites, you get a little turkey leg, you get some of that bacon wrapped cinnamon roll bullshit. Then you get yourself a margarita blended with some pig blood bacon shit. That tastes damn good. Then, after you're done doing all that, you go watch the dog races, dude. What are you doing? You don't go to the fair and see a bunch of little dogs running around and racing each other. Dude, it's the coolest thing. It's the absolute coolest. If you love dogs, dude, and sometimes they put a little stuffed animal on their back like they're getting rode at a rodeo, dude. Just come on. You can't tell me that's not fun.
All I've heard so far is every problem with our country and animal abuse. What do you got next? What's
animal
the next
abuse? They're happy out there. Yeah. They're running around like with their fucking tongues flapping. You ever see those endurance races on like TV for animals? Like it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that, but way dumber.
I haven't seen anybody force a dog to do a triathlon by himself.
Oh wait, no, it's not dogs.
Even do one.
It's not dogs. It's pigs. It's a pig race, is what I'm remembering.
It's not. Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, I don't think this is what you're saying is true.
But there is a dog show though. There is a dog show at the fair. I'm just getting them confused. But yeah, there's a pig race, and it's so cool. It's so neat. Yeah. I love it. And then the third thing you do at the fair that you have to do at the fair is get stabbed on your way out with an airbrush shirt honoring one of your homies. That's what you got to do at the fair.
I've never even seen the airbrush option there at the fair. Hold on one moment.
Oh yeah. No problem. How's it going, everybody? We're here.
Speaking of dog races, we had one that had to go out. So, Jack just got home. So, anywho, yeah, I don't know, man. State fair, I'm good on it. I do like an airbrush shirt.
You've never seen the airbrush shirts there?
Yeah, but I mean, well, here's the thing. The mall in Kentucky I grew up on had a full store for that. So I was like pretty, like, I think it's great, but I've seen it. You know, there's definitely not that there's bad. There's great ideas always that you can.
You don't want an attitude Tweety bird with a backwards hat and a flannel shirt.
And just wearing heart-shaped boxers, and then just cussing.
And it just says
it's
puss at the bottom.
It doesn't. It would never say that. But that'd be cool if you got it. I mean, I would think you
it would honestly say like Miyamo or something on there. Like honestly,
big coward. Oh yeah.
Like a Tweety bird with big hoop earrings, making this face. You know, that's what I want in an airbrush shirt.
Yeah, well, because if you get a shirt like that, it just when you see a shirt like that, it just says, "Hey, I'm stealing something from this store."
Holy shit! Oh boy!
I take what I want from here, and know I won't be paying.
I follow no rules.
And then if they have Cookie Monster sweatpants on, also it says, "You're going to catch me, and I will yell." Those are just things I don't need in my day.
I'm gonna ask you to make a change for a 20 out of your tip jar because I see you have enough bills in there.
Yeah. I'm I'm gonna demand you stop looking at me when you never did in the first place. Is what that shirt says to me.
Dude, have you ever... Okay, we'll get to games, I swear. But have you ever been in that situation, like probably in high school or something, where you were just like absently looking or like you just happened to meet eyes or glance at somebody and they're like, what the fuck are you looking at? It's like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm just moving my eyes like a bipedal human being would, looking at my surroundings. I'm not like staring at you. Like they look at you like you were looking at them for like a solid minute, but you just happened to
catch a glance.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's just that's people that are afraid to have thoughts. So while their thoughts are going on, they need anything to pull them out of it because it's getting too scary in there. So they got to yell at the first thing they see. I've had that happen for sure. I did have one where there was like a girl yelling and then was like don't be getting in our conversation. I'm like, everyone's in the fucking conversation, you dumbass. Like, you're yelling. We're all here in it. I can't I'm not gonna go deaf just so I don't hear you and Brenda fucking duke it out, you dumb son of a bitch.
I felt what you're talking about.
I mean, she had no response to like I was like, everyone can hear it, there's no way we can't be in your conversation. And she was just like, what? You just like, you need to leave yourself alone. I was like, no one of you brought it up, man. No one was asking. But anywho, yeah. So
I did update the Twitch channel just now because they have a podcast and shows category. I do this on just chatting, so
well,
we'll see. We'll see. I know. Fuck that up.
But yeah, let's get into actual games this week. Since again.
Yeah,
we've covered Dallas traffic this week, so that's good. We can move past
big giant tickled purple ape monster and all
the
other fun stuff we said. So I see on here you're still in the knee deeps of collecting. How's that kind of going for you?
I mean, we can go over that now if you want. It is quite a stack again.
Yeah, because I got Resident Evil 8 to talk about just briefly, but...
Okay, well, I have... It's ridiculous. I have...
Here we go.
Shit, I was reclined and I couldn't get back the way I wanted to. All right.
He's about to have to lift this stack with his legs. Here we go.
Dude, it's another... hefty bit.
Fuck. Okay. I love this part of our show where we put the stack on the table and go through the contents.
Well, listen, you
No. I actually do. I know that sounded stupid and shitty, but no. I actually do like the sense of discovery on this.
But you did sound like a bit of a dick right there for a second.
That was not the intention.
Be honest.
That was not the intention.
You're like, what? What'd you get this week? Oh, brother. Okay. So, I'll start with the Switch stuff because that's like not as exciting, I guess. So I picked up Xenoblade Chronicles because it was only for $39, I think, or something. Nintendo's doing something where like some of their classics were on sale for $40 for like a week. It was like Odyssey, Super Mario Brothers U.
Yeah.
This, and then there was one other one. Yeah, I don't remember what it was. But yeah, so that was a pickup. I got Just Dance 2021. I'm gonna give that a spin because I've never played any of them, and it's actually not that bad. It's a pretty good game. Um, yeah, Crash 4 was another good pickup because I haven't. I was going to wait for it to get to PC, but I figure why not? Because for some reason at the moment, Walmart has every Switch game for not every one of them, but they're like all at least $10 cheaper, and then a lot of them are like half off for some reason. I don't have any idea why.
This next one you're gonna show is like one I'm surprised is like $30. Like I'm surprised that
I've
actually
never
is still
seen it
in
less than
stores.
60.
Yeah,
It was the only one they had. I'll say that. It was the last copy there, but yeah, and then I grabbed Astral Chain because I remember playing it initially, I guess, when it first came out, and then I was like into it, but I wasn't loving some of it. But I keep every time I think about it more, I'm like, damn, I want to finish that game because I liked what was going on.
It seems to have like a style to it that I'm into. Like I'm not super into like the anime stuff, which is really why like you sent me that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on Amazon right now is like $110 for a physical copy for some reason.
It's $110. The expansion pass is up in the 200s, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Because that game is like digital. You can go get that game right now. Like there's nothing.
Yeah, if you don't want the physical copy, you can get it for what it actually retails at, which is like, I don't know, you could get both of them for less than the single. I don't know. There's something to do with like a download code in one of them, but I don't know. That's also the confusing thing is I don't know what is what, because the way it's described sounds like the base version has like a DLC code in it for the expansion, but if that's the case, I don't know why the expansion exists in a physical form because it's a standalone thing. But then
I have no
like
idea.
It doesn't make any
I
sense.
have the
It's a super weird
version,
setup.
and I don't think it has any of that. Like I don't know. It was just like I put the game in, and there I was.
Well, is there a code in it at all?
I would have to find it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Find it. There's like I have so many physical Switch games that I basically like what you see on that shelf back there is only like half of them. The other like whole row is behind those.
Oh, sure. That's about what that looks like is about my entire collection of physical stuff. But I've only recently started grabbing physical Switch games, so it's like a little weird.
But yeah, with Astral Chain, like same thing with Xenoblade 2. It's just like the whole like cutesy anime aesthetic's hard for me, and that game kind of has a little bit of that like that core art style. It's not like cutesy anime, but it has that like core.
Oh no, it's very anime. I mean, the intro to it is like has its own theme song and then introduces every character with like a title card. It's very much anime.
Is there Japanese text and they're like running with like silhouettes in the background at one point? Because that seems to be in every anime intro I've ever seen.
Not that specifically, but it is like action scenes, and then their portrait will pop up, and then they'll do like a, and then it'll say like their name under it.
Okay.
It's a lot more anime than I remember it being.
Okay.
But it's pretty neat so far. That's what I was playing before I got off here. I did like up to the. I don't know. I'm still like on the first or second investigation or whatever. Because I went into my save file that was like 11 hours in, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing anymore in this game because it's got some like kind of wild controls for that game. Just because you have to like move both characters simultaneously and do some other stuff. But yeah, so far so good. Oh, and then as a result of all these, I got enough coins, and then I got the Ace Attorney trilogy on Switch. I haven't played that yet, but it's down to like $20, and then. I think I coined it to about $5 instead of $20, which is normally I guess $30. They're also all on sale on 3DS, but I opted for the Switch one for obvious reasons. But yeah, so that's the Switch ones. I don't think there's anything else I grabbed out of there. Oh, Paper Mario, I guess, but that was like a week ago.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so yeah, that's it for that. And then as far as PlayStation 2 stuff has picked up, I will say again another thing where this stack I think was only $50 altogether, maybe 60 because of Dark Cloud 2. But
oh shit!
Yeah,
I'm glad you found it.
Yeah, well, I'm a little annoyed but we'll get to that. Yeah, so the first one was like Micro Machines, which I remember playing this as a kid and liking it, but I haven't played it in a really long time. It turns out too, at Movie Trading Company, any of the ones that are like $9, then you're like, oh, this is probably something because everything else is like 5, and then if it's 14, it's a really good game. Um, and then Stuntman, which was another game I really liked quite a bit.
I remember that coming out. I never played it. I
Yeah,
remember
it's
when that
fucking
came
really difficult. I haven't played it now, but I remember playing it when it was out, and it's like pretty difficult because it's like you're basically trying to follow movie stunts to an exact T, so your timing on everything has to be absolutely perfect. So if you mess up any bit of the driving, you fail the thing.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of not the most fun game, but it is like pretty decent. Let's see, and then. Tony Hawk's Proving Ground, which is again not like the best one, but it's definitely better than Project 8. But I'm still. They had a copy of 3, but the case was like destroyed, so I was like pretty assumed that the game itself would not be in the best shape. Um, yeah, and then let's see, NBA Street Volume 3, which was a good
Hell
find.
yeah.
I would really
Hell
like to
yeah.
get 2, but 2 is like a little harder to come by. But 3 is still really good. And then Sled Storm, which is another one that's sort of like Arctic Thunder, I guess, which was similar to like Hydro Thunder, but this is sort of EA's take on one of those arcade games. I used to like those a lot. So this boy, Draken the Ancient Gates, was like one I was talking about like last week. But it's a game where you fly a dragon that talks to you, and it's sort of like a weird third-person action RPG game that came out quite a while ago. It's really it's I remember being really good and kind of unique for its time. Probably now it's going to be a bit of a bummer, but I would like to see it through again.
Yeah.
And that came with because it was some guy on Mercy, so it was like $20. So it was that game, and then Warriors of Might and Magic, which I've never played, but I've seen the cover for a million times, and it seems all right, kind of in line with that game, really. And then it came with a Mark of Kree, which I already had, so I have a second copy of that game now. But usually Draken is like at least 20 by itself, so finding all 3 of them for that, I was like, whatever. And then also picked up the sequel, which is Rise of Kasai, which is another pretty interesting game. I don't remember exactly how. I remember the sequel being better received, but it's an interesting game because the way that the combat works is like you basically the enemies will come up, but then you rotate the stick around to give them all like a target above their head, so it'll be like X square circle Y. So then instead of like directionally having a combo move, you like hit the face buttons to attack.
Yeah, like quick time almost.
No, well, it's not really. I mean, it's still full on combat. It's just you give the direction is you give the like based on their symbol, I guess that's like the direction you go. Where like in Assassin's Creed nowadays, it's at a point where like you just sort of move the stick in whatever direction you start fighting that way. This one is more of like the face button dictates what enemy you're fighting, but you have to give them all a mark when you start. It's interesting, and I'm curious to see how they expand on it in the second one because there's a little bare bones in the first one, but I think the second one was like a better proof of concept.
Yeah.
And then I found Jak 2, so I still gotta find the other 2, but Jak 2 pretty good. Oh yeah, Brave Fencer Musashi came in, not Brave Fencer, I'm sorry, Samurai Legend Musashi, which is a fucking bummer of a game. I love the first game. This one sucks. I'm gonna try and see it through.
Oh shit! Hold on.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah! Got it. Oh my goodness. Okay, going forward, we're gonna be Chris. He wants you to sing him the song. There
Way
we go,
down yonder on Chattahoochee, where it gets hotter than a hoochie coochie. He get rubber like a Georgia asphalt. We got a little crazy, but we never got caught. How's that? Is that a song to be sung?
Perfect.
Because he said to
honestly,
sing it.
Sounded great to me. I don't know about anybody else out there. It sounded perfect to me.
Well, great. So here's the thing. I gotta go through this whole stack. I can't. Jesus Christ. Here's the no.
I mean, if you want to quickly go through them, you don't have to go through the whole stack, but if you want to.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'll just say up until the point, which sucks because I didn't really say too much about any of them, but yeah. So Micro Machine Stuntman, Tony Hawk's Proven Ground, Streets, NBA Street Volume 3, Sled Storm, Draken the Ancient Gates, Warriors of Might and Magic, Rise of Kasai, Jack 2, and then Brave Fencing Musashi. Or, I'm sorry, Samurai Legend Musashi. Not to be confused with Brave Fencing Musashi, the great version of this game. But this game is really bad. I played a good chunk of it, maybe like 2 or 3 hours for that, and it sucks. The frame rate is terrible. If there's like more than 2 enemies on screens, it really buckles. The only like neat thing is that like in the first game you could absorb enemies like attacks and sort of use them. There's like a system for that. So in this one, the way that works is like if you counter an attack, or if you absorb, you have to like focus on them for a certain amount of time, like a bar fills up, and then when they do a certain attack, if you hit the square at the right time, you absorb that attack. But because the frame rate is so bad and everything else, like it's nearly impossible to do it. So like a whole system of the game is sort of like not present, which sucks. It sucks because the first game is like, again, one of my favorites. This one's like brutal in some of the worst way, and like the combo system doesn't really feel good to begin with. Like it's only like a 2 to 3 button attack, and then you have like a heavy, but none of it like works together. So it's like it's just bad. It sucks. It really sucks how bad this game is. Because it's one of the most. It's a really good looking game. Like it looks really similar, probably a little less fidelity or detail, but just about as good as Dark Cloud 2 does, which is like one of the better looking games on the PlayStation 2. Kind of akin to like Sly Cooper and those, because those look really good. But yeah, and then Dark Cloud 2 was the other one, which is one of my favorite games of all time. Bummer is though, the disc is in the PlayStation, but it said it came complete. And you can see that
Obviously
that's not the case.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how to really
shell.
Yeah. So I don't know how to figure it out because it was ordered through Amazon through another seller through Amazon. So I'm not exactly sure. I guess I can message the seller and hope for the best, but I don't know.
Or like I know that you can sometimes find the inserts like separate from.
I found one, but it was like $20 for like the book and the thing. And like the game is already not cheap necessarily because Dark Cloud is like $30-some on its own, and that was like at a low price. And it sucks too because the case is a redo, but the actual artwork itself, like the insert is like super well put together and preserved. There's not really any hiccups there, but anyway. And then the last thing I got was Sly Cooper 3. But the problem with it is it's sealed, so I don't know if I open it or not. But I think
it's a greatest hits. From what I understand, I think the original runs are like what are the valuable ones. I think. Yeah, I mean, eventually it just means that there's more printed. Yeah.
So the original ones they want the black label boxes more, which I also do. Yeah, what it is I have the first one coming. And then I have the second one already. So once I play through those two, if I'm still on it, I'll go, okay, I'll play this third one. If not, I'm just going to leave it as it is. I think that's it for the major grabs this week.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else that really... Oh, and then I pre-ordered Biomutant. But it was like $40 on Humble. So
that's not a bad
pretty
price.
good.
So $40 on... Because it's a $60 game, right?
Yeah, it was like I think it was like 45 maybe if you're a subscriber, because it's like whatever the pre-order discount is, and then 20% off for being a subscriber.
I might have to hit you for a code if you're able to hook a brother up.
Yeah. Well, we should wait till it gets closer too, because it doesn't. The way that pre-orders work is they don't email you a code until like the week of release or like the day or two before. Sort of like when they get them, they send them.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. They'll send me 2 codes regardless, but.
Biomutant is going to be so good. Did you see the gameplay trailer from Game Informer last week? Yeah, I actually did.
I watched through all that. It looks sick. I can't wait. It's like the only game I've cared about all year next to Mario Golf.
What's like visceral about it to me anyway, or like what's like really kind of cool about it is like the animation is like really good. Like the world looks good, but like all the jumping around and like the enemy animations, like that gets me actually really excited to play it. But yeah, let me flip over to that. Yeah, here's the gameplay stuff that they showed. Yeah, man, Biomutant looks great. I'm looking forward to it. I still kind of want to be kept a little bit in the dark of it because it looks like discovery in that game is going to be like a big thing because
Yeah.
it's open world and one thing that really appeals to me is that he looks absolutely stupid. So I assume that there's
Yeah.
like some like customization and weapon and armor options and.
Oh, so you don't know about any of that stuff?
I know it's an open world RPG, so of course it's going to have that stuff, but I don't know about like all of the options. Like I don't know about all the intricacies.
So I'll give you some of this off the gate. That would happen when you start it. It's not like
Okay.
So basically, your character stats dictate your body type. So like you have like basically a one of those like I don't know. It's like a circle, and then you can kind of move a disc around or whatever where you want. But like the more strength you have, the buffer you are, the more agile, the skinnier, the smarter you are, the bigger your head gets. Like so, your actual body type is dictated by your starting stats, I guess, more or less. And then after that, you have a class that you pick as well. So, which they do have a class that's stuck behind pre-order, which is a little weird. But there is one of the classes that I think it's like Commando or Mando or something like I can't remember what the name of it is, but one of them is tied. I think there's like 6 to start with, and then there's one tied to a pre-order, which is odd. And I assume they'll let you have that later. I guess I don't know why. I don't know. It's just that's a weird one. But yeah, and then there's all the fur options, all that customization stuff too, all that crazy shit that you can just really go nuts with. And I think I think it might affect like your face a little bit. Like the smarter you are, the more like kind of cocky you look, and the more strength you have, you kind of look a little dumber. I guess is sort of the idea. And I don't know how that play because they were saying that story wise, not story wise, but like content wise, it's kind of similar to like New Vegas in the way that you have factions and you sort of interact with people and stuff, which is great to hear if that's actually what's going on. So maybe some of that stat stuff affects that. I don't have any idea or haven't seen either way on that one. And then the weapon customization stuff is really interesting because it's basically like you have different like parts that you'll find in different rarities, and you can kind of just fling them all together to make some sort of like Borderlands-ish, like Ratchet and Clank style bananas nonsense. I would say
Okay.
Borderlands is probably more similar, but I don't know like the overall effects because I think there's 3 ranged weapons and 3 melee weapons, but I could be wrong. I know there's like handgun, shotgun, long range, and then there's again I don't know. I don't know all the intricacies of that. I've like only a little bit, but yeah, it seems really rad. And then I guess there's the mutation stuff too that happens in the world. So like the more that you're interacting with certain things, the more you get mutated in that wheelhouse, I guess. And then you pick up resistance because I guess the world is set up split with different resistances around it. So it's like different zones or whatever with that. And then there's an underground part of it as well, which is apparently pretty big also. But yeah, it looks
Pretty sick.
I can't
sick.
wait.
Yeah.
Because it's ex Just Cause developers, so it's not a branch of Avalanche like I thought it was. It's ex people that worked on Just Cause left to make this. So if it's the team that did like the first 2 to 3 Just Cause games, they're really the first 2, great. Because that third one was like a direction I didn't care for as much as fun as it was, and then the fourth one like went too far off into nothing land.
Yeah.
But fucking around in those games is always great. So yeah, but yeah, that's like the only thing really on the like immediate horizon that I've like had any investment in. So the retro collecting has been going off the rails lately.
Hell yeah.
Oh, and then I forgot to mention, I have Gundam Journey to Javro on the way, which I remember not being a great game either, but the price was really good. And then Turok Evolution, which I really liked on the GameCube, but I don't know if the PS2 version is any different than that one. Because I almost think that the PS2 version doesn't have 4-person multiplayer the way that the GameCube one did. Because I think the GameCube one you could play as like Velociraptors or as Hunters, which was sick. But I don't know if the PlayStation 2 one includes that. Even though you have multi-taps and stuff, I don't know if it does or not. But
Did you get a multi-tap with yours, by the way?
No. And I almost... I didn't do it. But I almost there was a guy selling a complete one, original in the box with a remote, a multi-tap, the original packaging with all the serial numbers matching for like $150, and I
Oh
almost
shit, dude.
and I
That's
almost
not
did
bad
that.
at all.
No, it's not. But I, it's just not. It's not
Yeah,
what I
no,
need to be doing.
I
If
understand.
I could sell this other 3DS, then that would have been fine. If I can't, then it's a little hard
Yeah.
to justify, especially with the constant rumor. I guess that's the last thing I'll say. So with the Switch Pro stuff, again, we've talked about it a million times. But Samsung did make a statement with their earnings call that said that Nintendo has decided on the OLEDs they're going to be using for their Switch Pro, quote unquote. So, pretty good indication that we're going to
Hell
be,
yeah.
I mean, one, it's crazy that things using OLEDs, which I think
Yeah.
is crazy, which is nice. I mean, yeah, bring it on. I'll take whatever. Again, it's that. I mean, with the DLSS stuff, hopefully that'll be a big thing. But the real worry is like it's not gonna be powerful enough for what it's doing, which I assume it will be, but I don't know. I'm worried because this one only really made it 3 years, so I'm worried that this one will maybe we'll see what happens. But
Well, mobile technology, and we talked about this a long ass time ago, but mobile technologies are constantly getting better. I mean, the Tegra
Sure.
2 that the Switch is running is very antiquated at this point, so whatever Nvidia's working on next, and the rumors that like their next mobile chipset will support like DLSS processing and some form of ray tracing, that's exciting stuff. So I don't know. We'll
yeah,
see.
I mean,
We'll see.
I can't wait for the scalpers to get all of them. I guess is what I'm really trying
I
to say.
thought about that too. Like, we were so naive, dude, talking about Switch Pros this whole time, and then
Like where anybody's gonna be able to get one, so it doesn't even matter.
I don't even know why I'm
Um,
talking about it. Like, and
but-
granted, when the Switch first came out, there was like a good 3-month period where like they were pretty rough to get a hold of, but they
Something tells
really
me this
haven't.
is going to be about 6 months to a year before you get
And
these in people's hands normally.
Maybe close to 2, like Sony's saying, which is alarming. But
Super
you know.
cool. Yeah, there was a thing about that I didn't put up on the news, but they had several restocks at stores today, all gone immediately by people that are like, I had it in my cart for 10 seconds and then it was already gone. So that was great. And then I guess with Best Buy specifically, they're having issues because it's like there was no like bundle thing you had to buy or anything like that, so it was just consoles. So scalpers again were like, oh, it's just a console, I don't have to buy all this other shit I don't need, so here we go, there's an easy pickup. So those are still impossible to get.
I really hope some legislation comes in down the line on all this shit, because it's a little ridiculous.
I'm telling you,
I'm sure
same thing
I
with-
know everybody loves big government, but somebody's really got to fucking do something about the scalpers market.
the
on
bots
this
is
shit. Like,
ridiculous. I mean, because again, it comes into a federal issue. I mean, it's the same thing with like, right now, I mean, I guess with the gas thing, it's a different thing. But you see people filling buckets of gas and all this other shit, and you're just like, fuck you, dude. What are you gonna? How are you gonna store all this? And then I would love to see you put this in your car yourself, like just pouring buckets of gasoline around your garage and just trying to get it into your stupid car with your dumb little funnel because you're a fucking idiot. Anyway, it just makes me so angry. Just the selfish nature of all of it just drives me insane.
no, I'm totally with you.
Also, I just love all these cars volatilely driving around with cans, like just buckets of gas in their trunk, which I can't wait for one of them to get into a wreck.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, what happens?
It's crazy, dude. People drive around here insane anyway, and then we're back on Dallas traffic. But if people drive around here fucking bananas all the time, and then to think like there's people driving around with fucking gallons and gallons of just like loose gas in their car also is just fucking terrifying.
Fucking wild. Yeah, I'm with you.
And that they have guns. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you shoot a can of gas if it's gonna blow up like it does in the movie. But I gotta imagine it's probably not great for it to have happen.
Someone's car did blow up yesterday. Let me see. Hold on.
No shit.
Car explosion.
I hate that for him. I really do. Yep. Caught on camera.
These are all from like April. 9 vehicles were involved in an I-84 crash. Car
No, that
explosion
April, May. No.
yesterday? Yeah, something. I'm just getting results from something that happened in April. Anyway, I'm sure though. I'm sure the front page of Reddit. Oh, okay. Yeah, I must have missed it then.
Let's see. Yeah, well, that could be. Well, was it in Texas or was it just across the country? Because if it's across the country, then that's why we didn't see it. Because we only care about Texas.
Yeah, Texas, brother.
State.
Hell yeah, brother.
It's
big Texas.
It's that big state.
I guess real quick before we get to news, I'll touch on a couple of games. The first game I've been playing actually a shit ton of, and it's way deeper than I remember it being, is Golden Sun for the Game Boy Advance. Because I got this cool unhinged console, so I've been fucking around with Game Boy games. But every time I boot it up and I look at the games on there, I'm just like, yeah, I'll play some more Golden Sun. Dude, this game, I played it as a kid. I didn't get real far because like I was a dummy who couldn't wrap my head around like class systems and JRPG shit. But
I think this game mostly that I didn't read when I was a child. I just skipped all of it. And then I was like, wait, this is so easy. Why did I struggle with this as a kid? Yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
So you have like a gin system. You get these little dudes that you find throughout the world and you do combat with. And depending on the combination of gins that you set to each character you control, it changes up their class and their abilities. As a kid, I had no fucking clue.
I was just about to say, I had no idea that was a part of this game. I remember the gins, but I had no idea they did anything.
Yeah. Wow. As a kid, I thought that you just assigned the gin to the character that uses that element. So Isaac is earth, Garrett is fire, right? You know? Ivan is wind, and Mia is water or ice, right? So I thought, okay, I'll just put the gins with their correlated element. But no, if you like mix and match the elements, you can like make one. Like one can be like a brawler, which has like a whole different move set. A hermit, which has like a whole different move set. Bandit. I think bandit's one. Soldier, knight, swordsman. There's a whole bunch, and I just had no fucking clue.
Yeah, I had no idea. I played that game almost to completion as a child, and I don't remember that at all.
And I'm
Actually,
sure
I played
like
both of the games, and I don't remember that.
That's the thing. Like, I'll say it's deep, but maybe unnecessary. Like that's the problem I kind of have with Golden Sun is that like, it's not really even a problem. It's an easy game.
Too easy. Yeah.
It's an easy game. It's a good stepping stone into other JRPGs, I would say. But like, I never was up against something where I felt like the difficulty was too much, or like, fuck, like, I don't know. Everything has kind of like a straight path forward. One thing that's a little, you do have to read and pay attention a lot to like where you're supposed to be going in the story and the world next, because some of that stuff can be a little obstructed.
I was finding that when I started it on my retro thing or whatever.
Yeah. So I have definitely consulted a guide here and there. Also, I learned that there are some gins that you can straight up miss out on if you pass certain parts of the story.
Oh, so you can miss out on whole classes in this game?
Yeah, like kind of. Yeah, some of the gins give you it gives you a specific ability in combat, but I think. You're right. You would miss out on like essentially major classes. There's not a whole lot of them. I have the list that you can miss out on. It's really not a whole lot. I just always hate when games do that, which is something Resident Evil 8 does, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But Golden Sun, good game. I'm definitely going to play the Lost Ages. I also have Dark Dawn on the 3D, or not 3DS. You can play it there, but DS. I have Dark Dawn on the DS. Which apparently is
that game pretty cheap. I've actually seen it a couple different places, like pretty reasonable, like $20.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's good or bad for that game, I guess.
I'll say the complaint I hear about Dark Dawn, and I haven't played it myself, but is that it's even easier, which could be good, could be bad. But I've never played it personally myself, but I'm getting to this point where I start playing a franchise and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play all of them, and then I don't, and I think Golden Sun's gonna be the one
Yeah,
that I
how's
do
Metal
it
Gear
with.
Solid going?
Yeah, that'll happen. I promise. That'll happen. I will.
I'm sure. I'm
I
not saying I'm
promise.
any less guilty, but I
Yeah.
just, yeah. I mean, although I do think Sly Cooper is quick enough to where I can make it through that. Um, and this Crash game is actually really great, so I may go back and play the other ones again after I finish this one. Um, it's really good though. It's kind of a love letter to Crash Bandicoot, which is really interesting. But it's like all the main enemies and stuff are there, and then you get all these like costumes, I guess, when you do 100% on a level. They give you basically like a skin, which I thought was weird that Crash Bandicoot had skins in it. Um, but yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah,
Interested to see all
I
that,
do
but
remember liking the Sly games quite a bit. They have them on the Vita, by the way, which is very cool.
yeah, I was looking for that
Uh,
collection of all three of them, but it's like a Vita and a PS3 thing. It wasn't like a PS2. They didn't. I thought they did though. I thought they did like what they did with Grand Theft Auto and put all three of them in like a box and we're like, here you go. But no dice. Can't seem to find that.
Yeah. So, I guess I'll try not to go too ham on this because we got a few stories before we end the show. But
Well, so
dude,
this just came out, so don't get too wild with the spoiling.
no, dude, Resident Evil fucking 8. Okay. So I did kind of draft up my thoughts as I was playing it, and I am going to do a write up on like I'm going to do a review essentially. I did record all the footage. I had some issues which I'll talk about in a second related to performance that kind of fucked up some of the recording that I did, but I do intend on doing something with this game because holy shit. I always hate when people blow out like proportion of like expectation or like excitement around a game, and like I think a lot of the hype gets kind of like infused into the experience. So I try not to come out of the gate like, oh, I fucking love this game and I cried when the credits rolled. Like, but I will say, like, I have played a decent amount of Resident Evil games. I've played RE2 Remake. I played the original RE2, Resident Evil Nemesis, even though I didn't beat it when I was younger. Have not played Code Veronica or the remake on GameCube, but 4, 5, 7, 8, and the Revelations games. I've played all of them. And I'm hard pressed to say that this may be. I'm hard pressed to say this isn't the best one because it definitely feels like a culmination of all of those games of the past decade, kind of in like a sweet harmony, and like not a whole lot of series that I particularly enjoy can do changes gracefully where you're like, oh well, fuck, I wish it was kind of like the other one. Like at least every single series that I'm into, there's always like in the back of my head, well, this game in the series did it better. And there's some of that with Resident Evil Village, but not as much as I thought. Like one criticism I heard about this game going into it is that it wasn't as scary as 7. And while that may be true, there's definitely more like visceral and like kind of
More
disgusting
impactful stuff, you mean?
Yeah, just like way more engaging. Like enemies, combat, story. It at one point in the game it does kind of become Doom arenas, which for better or worse, like it's a culmination of all your efforts of upgrading your weapons and conserving ammo, like up until that point where it's just like
I was gonna say, because some of the footage I saw, I was like, man, there's like a lot of like these guns are like this seems like more of a gun game now than it did previously.
I mean, playing it, especially a specific sequence later in the game, like I was thinking like Capcom should just make a shooter at this point. Like Resident Evil's great and it's like a more methodical and like slow paced, definitely like still teetering on survival horror, but way more action oriented than any of the previous games have been. Except for maybe 6, but I never really got into 6. But
6 was fine. I enjoyed it enough.
Yeah. This just, I don't know. I think the marketing did it kind of an injustice in a way. But they,
wait. Six was the one where you went through like everybody's story a shit ton of. There's
yeah,
like. Okay, I'm thinking of 5. I'm sorry. 6
yeah.
kind of sucked.
Yes.
6 was kind of annoying. Yeah.
6 was a bunch of like random vignettes, and they were all like heavy action, and it just didn't seem like a comparison was like, oh, they Michael Bay'd at Resident Evil, which isn't like too far off. I think 6 took a lot of inspiration from those like live action movies in a way.
I will say 6 is the one that has the you can dive and stay on the ground and roll around, and that's one of the best mechanics in a game ever. I just wish the game itself was better, but that was great.
It had things going on. It wasn't a terrible game. It just like
No, I mean I think it's like probably the worst Resident Evil game.
Yeah,
But that's not to say that's like still relatively high praise. I think because most of them are all pretty good overall.
I mean when Resident Evil 7 came out, it was like right when Konami canceled PT. So I think Capcom took a lot of inspiration from that and stepped into that and kind of made something that would like attract the PT crowd. But I think that they also still have wanted to service the Resident Evil 4 crowd with like a mainline decent game, kind of reflective of that experience. And I think the Revelations games kind of get there, but the Revelations games also kind of feel like B-tier Resident Evil games, just like in scope and budget.
Well, they feel like arcade games. Like they have this weird like side note or notion that it's like a score system, and you're kind of like it just feels like a arcade game more than anything else.
Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't. It is a spinoff, and so this game takes a lot of 7 and 4 and some of the better elements of 5, and it's like a perfect harmony of all of it. Like the merchant's back. In Resident Evil 8, you had like coins that you would find where you would unlock like on a table like random upgrades that you could get through the game. But this one has like a legit like merchant system, supplies, selling like jewels and treasures that you find like in RE4. It has like so in Resident Evil 7 you're fighting a bunch of muck monsters and there's not a whole lot of variety in the enemies there. This one there's a shit ton of variety. And so a lot of the Resident Evil 4 gameplay of like shooting limbs and having them get into staggered states and like having a more methodical combat is first and foremost in this game, and I really appreciate that. They just went all out with it, man. Like puzzles, I could take it or leave it. That's another big criticism that I've seen a lot of people say is just like there's no puzzling in this game really. Fine, I guess. I've always found that like puzzles kind of can break the pace.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing is like at that point, then it's just a shooter now. It's not really Resident Evil anymore. Like, not that it needs to be, but if you take the puzzles out, then you just have a shooter. And then what are you doing?
So there are still puzzles. Like it's more of like I don't know how to put it. Like, you still combine items. You still find treasures that you combine for like higher value. You still have to like, oh, I found a ring. Oh, I can take this eyeball out of the ring. Where does this eyeball go? Oh, that gets me in this door. That moves me forward. There's still plenty of that. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't feel as it doesn't stop the action dead. Like you still have other things you can do in an area if you can't quite figure out something. Yeah, there are puzzles left and right, but they're not like I don't know how to exactly explain it. They're not like the original like Resident Evil puzzles that you would come to expect. And like some of the sections are a lot more action heavy than like kind of slow paced. But I don't know. Trying not to get into like way too much of like how I feel about the story because I think it's going to be a little bit polarizing, but ultimately, I love what they did, and I like Ethan Winters as a character a lot. But
I was gonna say because when I played the demo, I didn't care for that. I mean, there wasn't a lot going on, but it didn't. The voice actors seemed like really over the top for stuff that was happening. Like I don't know how it translates to the total game, but like I don't know. It was just like a little much to me.
It's endearing to me. Ethan, the guy who voices Ethan Winters, like more power to him, whatever. Definitely the weakest the weakest of the bunch. Like all the other
okay.
family characters, like Miranda's family, like all those people have really good characterization. Heisenberg is like a really good villain. Lady Dimitrescu, while this is why I said the marketing didn't really do it justice, is because that's like 1/3 of the game, maybe. So like she's front and center, but that kind of gets pushed to the side a little bit.
Well, I mean, big titties, dog.
Yeah. Hey.
I mean, trying to sell the game,
you know.
dog. Big titties, man.
Yeah. Still plenty of cool, funny Lady Dimitrescu shit out there if you're interested in that stuff.
Yeah, I saw the fly swatter butt one, and then I saw somebody like made a PS1 remake of the game,
which looks
or, like,
way
like
creepier
an
than the base
video
game.
to it, and and it. I mean, I don't know if it was creepier, but it was cool looking. But it does sort of, and it does kind of harken back to like some of the older generation games, like are a little scarier because you kind of don't have any idea what you're looking at. Like sort of Silent Hill stuff is a little scarier because you're like, I can't really make out the shape of what this thing is that's attacking me, so it is weirdly scarier. And I think also like you have less control and agency over yourself, so then it's sort of, I don't know, it's weird. Like something about like the more visceral a game gets, the sort of less scary it is, I guess. Like the more realistic it becomes, kind of the less frightening it is because you sort of have an idea of everything. I don't know. Because I kind of noticed that with like, what was it, like Alien Isolation or something? I think it's also the thing is everything has to be perfect because you really will notice when something doesn't look right, or like when something doesn't move correctly or something. You're like, oh, well, that was clearly a bug. But at older games, you're sort of like, I don't know, it just moves weird or what. I don't know. Like, especially comparing like PlayStation 1 and 2 games to like current gen stuff. It's like, because like I saw a video or two of that boss fight with Dimitrescu or whatever, however you say her name. And like she was chasing him through the house, but she was doing like this weird like rotate thing to get to him. And I was like, well. And it's like, not, that's like common of video games, obviously, like pathing issues and other stuff, but it was really this thing of like, wow, this game looks so realistic, and then you just have this lady like like standing in a corner, and they're like, okay, I'm coming for you, and I was like, okay. But if it was like, if you're looking at a PlayStation 1 and you see like a bunch of pixels just kind of like rotating in the corner, you're like, is it supposed to be doing that, or is it coming after, you know what I mean? Like, there's just something,
totally understood.
I don't know. It's not exactly true, but
I've had a fondness for, like, I didn't grow up with PS1, but I've always had a fondness, like, at least looking back on the low poly, like, they did so much with so little, like, I just find that very cool.
And most of the horror games were like 80% fog, so you kind of had no idea what you were looking at or where you were going anyway, because like Silent Hill especially, and I mean, a lot of them use it to their aesthetic, but like Silent Hill and Clock Tower and all those, dude, like
that technical workaround became like cultural in a way, because like when it's super foggy outside, like I can tell somebody like, fuck, it looks like Silent Hill out there, and everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, that movie helps that there was like a film.
Yeah, they did. I mean, say what you want about that movie, but I think that they came from a good place. Like, I remember watching that movie, but it was fine.
I think it's still one of the best video game movies that you're gonna get. I haven't really found one that was like better yet. That was like live action, we'll say. Yeah. Because some of the animated stuff's really good, but it should be. It's animated, so.
Last thoughts though, real quick. Like, my only criticisms really are technical. There are some weird AA issues on PC. Like, a lot of the game kind of looks a little jagged in places, because like the anti-aliasing solution that they have in place is like the game is built around ray tracing, and so without that on, there's some what's the word? Sacrifices that were made, I guess. So I think as they patch the game and stuff, it'll be fine.
Does it have some DLSS?
It has an interlace mode when you're running ray tracing, and it works kinda. I mean, I have a 2060 Super, so I'm not like sitting here trying to run the ray tracing stuff. I'm not even bothering. Like it looks fine at low, but it performs even better without it on, and like the difference between low and off is like negligible, at least in my eye. So that's where I'm at with that. There was like so I updated the latest NVIDIA drivers, and like I ran into a problem where the game would like stop for a straight minute. It wasn't my computer crashing, wasn't my GPU crashing. It would just stick on a frame for a literal minute, start working again for about a few minutes, and then back to just stopping on a frame.
Would the sound keep playing, or
yes.
would it freeze? So it would keep playing normally, though, right?
Yes. Yeah, it would keep playing normally.
That's the exact issue I have with any game where I put ray tracing on. Is that happens? So it'll be like it'll run totally fine for about 15 minutes, and then that happens, and it usually doesn't recover. So I just like cancel out of the game. But it will do the exact same thing where the freeze frame completely, like it'll be running 120 frames, perfect, whatever, freezes, and then sound just keeps playing. And then I usually don't let it come back because I don't know if it does or doesn't, because I just leave. I go, okay, well, that's that. Then this game crashed. Yeah. But maybe it doesn't crash. Maybe it just hangs up.
I mean, that's even bad. With ray tracing off, which is what I think is. Yeah. And I'm speaking from my own memory before I watched it, but like the Digital Foundry video that they put out, they also kind of talk about some of the issues with the engine as far as like the PC version, because the console versions are very well optimized, but it seems like they focused on like trying to make the next gen consoles a little bit, because this is the first like RE engine like next gen title, truly next gen title. So, yeah, I don't know. I think there's some sacrifices that were made. They'll fix it eventually, but.
Well, I think they're also probably aware that PC people are willing to. One, work around it, or two, go, oh, my computer's just not strong enough or something. Like there's like an excuse they can have where console people don't really do that.
Yeah,
like,
you buy the box and that's it. Like,
and the box should work.
Thing to work. Yeah.
Yeah. I also find that people on console generally don't know the difference between like a game not running well or running great. Sometimes like some of the frame rate stuff or whatever, they just won't notice. Dude. But I get.
My brother, when we lived together, he had his Xbox on like a really nice like OLED 4K TV, everything. But as he was playing it, like I noticed like it was just like real sluggish. Like even if I wasn't controlling it, like I noticed like visually like sound wasn't right. He was on like a movie mode on the TV. And like I was like, hey, like you should flip to the game mode because that gets rid of a bunch of like extra processing and stuff, and then it's just straight input into the TV. He had no fucking clue what I was talking about. And then I turned it on for him, and then he's like, oh, okay, I get it. Like after playing it, like and the sounds are syncing well, and like the controller's more responsive, like he got it. But there's a lot of that out there still of just people not.
Well, that's like actually half the reason I didn't play the Switch on the TV ever is because like our old 4K TV sucked. Like I didn't realize how bad it was until I found this one that has like full motion or whatever, because it'll do like up to 120 hertz, I guess, on the game mode or whatever that it's on. Yeah. And I've noticed that like the Switch actually does just run better there, which is crazy. Like we still need a second one. But it is remarkably different to what I was experiencing on the other TV, which has prompted me to play a lot of stuff on this TV.
What a lot of nice. Modern TVs do with 60 hertz input stuff now is they interpolate up to like a higher refresh rate. So it may seem like the Switch is running at a higher refresh rate, but the way that it's drawing the frames, there's like some kind of like in-betweens that it's trying to do to make the image smoother. Some TVs you can turn that off, some you can't, but ultimately...
Well, it's kind of like VSync, basically, is what that is.
Kinda.
Because that's effectively what VSync does.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. The TVs are getting better, man. Like, they really are. That's why I hope, like, if that Switch thing is, like, true, that's really coming this year, that I think it's going to be in a good place and look fantastic on newer displays.
Yeah, which that was part of this purchase anyway, because one, the price was really good, and then I was like, all right, well, because I was able to sell the other one for about half of what I paid for this one, so I couldn't be too upset. But now I realize I'm never going to be able to get a Switch Pro, so I don't even know what I'm talking about.
I'll those are like my thoughts on RE8 too. That's like I'll kind of wrap up there. There's like a mercenaries mode which I haven't dove a whole lot into. I'm starting the hardcore playthrough. The new game plus stuff in the game's fantastic, but the Resident Evil games have always been good about that. So I'll have a write up. I'll probably put that up on Facebook. I may do a video in the next couple weeks, but I have a lot more to say about it, and I want to talk the ending. Like I really want to talk the ending because I think it's like
If I can
can't
find it
say
on a
anything
decent
about
sale between, if we could, I guess because we never. I guess if we could maybe put it out 2 weeks. If I could find a sale on it, I would like to play through it. I just don't know that I really want to pay all that for
Oh
it.
no, I feel you. I feel you.
Because I'm a fan of Resident Evil, but I'm not. Well, you can tell I wasn't like chomping at the bit for this one or whatever.
I mean, I wasn't like super into Resident Evil. I liked RE4 when I was younger. I played 5 co-op. That was fun. It was fine. I've never been like super into the lore of Resident Evil, but like when 7 came out.
Well, because it always seemed like Science Company bad. They make bad. Go get Science Company. They did bad.
It got away from them a bit, but with 7, it felt like they were trying to wipe the slate, so to speak, and like build something with 7.
Reel it in. Yeah.
And that I'll say this about 8, no spoilers or anything, but the way they integrate the older games into this new like stuff they're doing, like I had no idea going into this how it was going to link to anything because it looks just so different from everything else.
Yeah, I didn't. Is it tied to 7? I mean, that's the same protagonist, right?
It's a straight up sequel to 7. Everything that happens in 7 has consequences in this game, which is what I didn't expect. Like I did not expect any of that. And then the other games in the series, there's like callbacks and references, and they're really they're really trying with this game, like to move into something interesting.
This is totally besides the thing, but speaking of consequences, Mass Effect's tomorrow. I forgot about that.
Oh fuck yeah! Goddamn,
that
that's
remaster
on Game Pass
is tomorrow. Is it?
I'm pretty certain that's coming to Game Pass PC through the EA. If you're an Ultimate subscriber and you have EA Pro or EA Play or whatever, automatically with the Game Pass Ultimate, I'm fairly certain that's coming to PC Game Pass.
Okay. Yeah, because damn, I want to play that too. But well, I've got just a stack of bullshit right here. I just pointed out a while ago. So what am I doing? What am I even talking about? Actually, I'd really just like to see some footage of it to see how it looks, because that's maybe the thing. But
I do recommend the game though, and I also started playing Dragon Quest Builders 2. I just started it. It seems fun. It seems like a better evolution of that first game. And I like
from
the
what I
Dragon
understand,
Quest
it's like
aesthetic
better
and stuff. So
every way except for like 1 or 2 things are worse. But generally speaking, like overall, the package is much better.
Dude, it has like a really impressive build system, and also it has like a cool bulletin board that you can walk up to that people just. It's almost like a Miiverse style thing where it's just people sharing their creations and stuff, and like seeing what people are doing with that thing. It's like, fuck, man, I
bet there's a Reddit page you could go to that would show you some good stuff.
You know, I already subscribed to that motherfucker.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm already on that thing.
I figured. I just assumed.
But yeah, those are the games. And then I'll definitely. I was on the fence about it after seeing the footage that Game Informer put out. I'm gonna pick up Biomutant. Definitely.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was already on board, but I'm just more ready than I was before. As soon as they started mentioning New Vegas, I was like, okay, well, I was already there, but now that you bring that up, I'm definitely in.
And it's going to be good to have a game that's been in, I wouldn't really call it development hell. They've just been kind of quiet on it, and it has been pushed back here and there. But it will be good to maybe have a game come out where, 1, its promises were fulfilled, and 2, the hype was deserved. Like, because it seems like they're really trying to make good on that game.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, that was the whole pitch, is that they're putting it out when they're happy with it. So hopefully that is now. But yeah, it seems really good. I just want it to be the 25th already, because it's like I said, I've been waiting. This is like the only realistically the only game so far this year I've really like been excited to play. Because we haven't had a whole lot yet, and I would like it. I don't think. Oh, actually, I guess the last thing I'll quickly say, as I was in the Bless Unleashed beta, that MMO that has been on Steam forever, and always seems like it's going to be free to play and out now, and it's not ever been.
Yeah.
But I finally played a good 3 or 4 hours of it this afternoon before the servers went down for maintenance again. Which I guess this is their last like open test before or final play test before it is out. It reminds me of basically every MMO I've played, especially ones that are action based. Like it feels.
Remind me what game you're talking about again, real quick.
Bless Unleashed.
Okay.
It's it feels a lot like a mixture of Guild Wars 2 and Terra. Terra, I think is the one I'm thinking of. But all set in the guise of Black Desert Online. Like it kind of is like those three games put together in a lot of ways. But the presentation is really nice, and like the combat is fun enough. I'm playing a warrior thing, but it has like a really interesting active, not like deflect and then your recourse thing. So your shield is like a bigger part of your combination of stuff than it normally would be in a game like this. But it's very much like a combo system game, action MMORPG kind of deal.
Yeah.
I'm going to put some more time with it before the test's over. I think it's free to play anyway when it comes out. Hopefully they don't do a character wipe from this. But I imagine they probably will because I love and hate playtest because it's always that thing where I get really invested and I'm like, well, I'm about to lose all this anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if I want to keep going or not.
I was actually a little bummed because I applied to do the Ps2 New Genesis test that's happening this weekend, and I never heard anything back, or at least I didn't see that I got anything back on it. But Ps2 New Genesis looks pretty cool.
Well, there's still another day. When does the actual thing start?
So like I already applied. It just I haven't gotten any indication that I'm.
No, I know. But when does the thing start?
I think it starts tomorrow. It's
okay.
like time
because for
throughout the weekend.
This one, I didn't get an email on it until like I'd already downloaded it like a week ago, and then the email came in at like I don't know 3 p.m.
On their website,
like, hey,
though, they were like,
it.
"Hey, we've sent out approvals, and here's where you download the insider thing."
Oh,
and,
okay, then you're fucked, buddy. You're not gonna get to play.
I'm interested in what that is, because I liked PSO2 just fine.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what they are doing to modernize it a bit, but yeah, this game looks great. The one that you
it looks really nice. I mean,
yeah.
Like aesthetic wise, and it runs really well. It has, and this may change, but the weirdest thing is like the phasing in and out of stuff will like happen in front of you. Like you'll walk to a thing and then you'll just see like a blue light and like the world will shift to the next like zone in phase or whatever. Like it's all seamless, but there is like you see the seam. Like the world is all no load screens or whatever, but when it phases to the like quest thing or whatever, it's just like whoop, and then the people just all appear, which is a little jarring. But that also could be because there's so many people on it at this point right now with the test or whatever. Maybe that's a residual effect of that. But yeah, I don't know. Back for Blood? What? Oh, is that the is Back for Blood? Is that the?
That's the successor. That's the new Turtle Rock game. That's the successor.
Oh right,
to
okay,
Left 4 Dead.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
But yeah, Amazon's New World. I've seen and heard some stuff about that game.
Seems pretty underwhelming to me, but I don't know. I have no idea.
It reminds me of a lot of the talking points that people had about ArcAge before that came out.
That MMO, yeah.
And there were some good things about ArcAge that I really liked, but that game really pivoted into monetization hell, man, like real quick too.
Yeah, and I think it's still there because I actually believe that you can still play that game. I'm fairly
so
certain.
ArcAge, they actually released, and I've wanted to try this. I don't really want to put any money back into that game or at all because I never spent money on it, but they did make ArcAge Unleashed or something like that, which is essentially they took all the free-to-play elements kind of out. Like I think some of that stuff is still in there, but it's a more packaged experience now. It's still an MMO, but I think they're trying that Guild Wars model.
That would be Arcade Unchained.
Unchained. Whoa, sorry. I think
Yeah.
Arcade Unleashed is a private server that I played when Arcade was disappointing. There was Arcade Unleashed was kind of cool because it had like a double XP gain, and they stripped out all the free to play stuff. From what I could remember, a lot of the innocuous like shitty free to play stuff in that game they removed it out for that private server. But I don't know. Arcade was always appealing to me, and that's the thing is just hearing details and seeing things about New Worlds kind of is reminding me a little bit of that. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what to think of that game really.
Yeah, I haven't kept up with it enough. I just kept everything I kept seeing about it. I was like, this seems fine, but I don't know if it's gonna be. Like, I think the problem is with new MMOs is like they have to really do something because there's like so many of these fucking games, and then they're all kind of look similar to like even Bless Unleashed. Like it's fun, but it looks really similar to like Black Desert.
Yeah.
Which already kind of looks like X Game, which already kind of looks like X Game, and then whatever. So it's like it seems great. I mean, it seems well put together. I haven't seen any of the monetization stuff in the game, but I have to assume it's somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
I will say one of the weirdly egregious things I found with this is there's like how you have like a daily login bonus or whatever, which is true of most free to play games or a lot of games in general at this point. This one had one that was like you got a different tier of item based on how much time you played that day. So it was like up to I think like a 2-hour mark or something. It would be like, all right, if you play for 2 hours every day, you get X amount of you get like one for every 30 minutes or something, and then it cuts off at the 2 hours. But it was weird of like, hey, you should play this game 2 hours every single day if you want like this, or whatever. Which great if you're already playing the game, it doesn't matter. But it is kind of weird if you're like, I don't want to sit here, and it's like, but I'll miss my thing if I don't sit here for 2 hours.
Yeah. Nobody
it's just a weird. It's like not a big deal, but it's one of those things. That's like kind of I don't know. Like it seems a little egregious, but I don't know. It's not charging you anything, so maybe it's fine.
I want to get back into Final Fantasy 14, but I am just not having fun with the end of Realm Reborn. Like all that content is just such a fucking slog. It is so hard to get through.
Sure. Yeah, well, now being finished with all the stuff currently, or like the vast majority of it, like I don't know what to do. I don't know that I really want to buy an expansion, to be honest.
Oh, I mean, really, at that point, you're looking at end game and rating and fashion and that.
Yeah, but you're so close to an expansion. It's like, do I do it or do I just wait? Because that content's gonna be in the expansion anyway. The way the game's set up, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff, you still go through it anyway.
You got the glamours that you're going for. There's reasons, but I feel you on that.
But what I'm saying is, like, with an impending expansion, like this content's all going to get easier and just come out again, and then I have all the new stuff to. If I was going to play the game at all anyway, it's this weird limbo that I'm in at the moment of playing that game.
And see, Captain Red Rocket, that's what I keep getting to as well, or keep getting in my ear as well, is like, hey, these expansions are really good. So every time I'm in Discord going through Realm fucking Reborn, I have to ask everybody in the channel, when does this fucking game get good? Like
ooh, dude,
does the fucking game get good?
What's crazy is like that's the redo of that game. Like, and not to say that
by the story skip, but
that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. That's an acknowledgement that they did bad, and they should figure out a free workaround. I think realistically, if they're gonna be like, "Hey, we know we made a really shitty," it's like that's the same thing of Ubisoft going like, "Hey, is the leveling a little too much for everybody? Well, why don't you just buy an XP boost?" It was like, "Well, you fucking made it this stupid. Fix it instead of making me give you money to fix the thing you made on purpose."
Yeah, that's what I've been doing, like trying to get through a Realm Reborn. I'm just like listening to podcasts or catching up on some album releases that I haven't heard yet. And
well, dude, that game is brutal with the just like, all right, now go here, now go back, now go here, now go talk to him, now go back.
They give you a fucking free item to go back to Vesper Bay 40 fucking times for no reason. Just put a fast travel point there. What the fuck are you doing?
That had to have been easier. That had to have been easier than giving everyone single items that would allow them to do this and putting them into every quest
And
also. Could they
apparently,
not have just made this point there?
a point in that game, those did not exist. There was a point
I know,
in the
that's what I'm
game.
saying. If they
Fuck,
reworked
man.
it to add that, why didn't they just add the point instead of doing this rigmarole where
So
quest givers now
stupid.
give you this item a million times? And also, it doesn't even fucking take you to the spot you want to be. You still have to go load into like 8 different rooms to then talk to some dickhead to then go out 8 different rooms to then go somewhere else again. It's fucking bananas. Yeah, no, it did, because I mean, I've max level in that game and it definitely got better.
It's just
but, like,
getting
but
through it. It's
that
not
track
just
is
like a couple
it's
hours and
miserable.
you're done. That's like a
No,
that's like a
dude.
day
And
long
it just
effort.
keeps going. No, dude, it was almost like a full week, and I was playing that game a lot, and it was still like, it was so much shit.
I
It was
think I'm
so
on like
much
the
shit.
second to last pre-patch content for Heaven's Word. I think
Sure.
that's where I'm at. So I'm almost starting Heaven's Word. So
And then the fact, okay, the other big bummer about that game too is that like if you replay the story content, you don't get any experience for it. Fuck off. Like, what's the point of that? If like,
then what's the
'cause there's-
new game plus thing? What is that? Because I know
that's
that
just
there's
you can do all that again with no benefit.
Fuck
you can
off.
just watch all the story again.
Fuck off.
As far as I understand it, because I was looking at it, I was like, oh well, if I'm gonna level another class, the easiest way to do that is just go through the story crap again.
bragging
Nope.
rights for wasting your time. Like, hey, look what I did with something I could have been doing for a benefit. Yeah,
Yeah,
nah, I'm
dude,
good.
it's- So that's where all those other side quests and things are so it makes the second run through of a level extra miserable. Like, you get a bonus for your like overall experience or whatever, and then now you can do all the side quest stuff that's just been scattered everywhere that there was no point to do because the content was so good experience. Now this is where you do all the bullshit, kill 10 of these things 8 million time quests to get your next character up.
I mean,
I don't know. There's some
my,
fundamental issues with that game, but I do really like the game. The healing in that game is really fun. So I'll say that. I
playing
like the
White
heal in that
Mage is
game a
really
lot.
good. My buddies are telling me, like, you know, essentially you do enough of the dumb side quests to get your first like level dungeon, and then you just grind dungeons out.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Well, yeah, it's the same people chirping. But yeah, I don't know.
Just grinding the dungeons out.
Yeah, Scholar's what I was playing. I like him.
Yeah, I'm just doing White Mage. I played Thaumaturge back like a year after the game released. Apparently, like, I didn't know this because I was trying to do all the side quests. I was trying to do all this stuff. At some point, they just streamlined the shit and said, here's the quest that you should do, and here's your class quest when it unlocks. Do this quest,
like,
do this quest, do this quest, do this quest.
Yeah.
It stopped being like a traditional MMO where it's like, oh, accept every quest in this town, do every quest in the town, move on to the next town.
That's actually, to that end, that is what Xenoblade Chronicles feels like. Is like a traditional MMO where you're your whole party.
Yes.
Because like I have accepted in the first hour of that game over 45 quests. It's
Are you talking about
crazy.
Xenoblade 1 or 2?
Yeah, 1 Chronicles. the
Oh,
definitive
Chronicles
edition.
is great. And that's the thing. I think that
I mean, it's really good. Yeah.
I think the development history of that game is that they originally wanted, like, they were inspired by MMO combat mechanics, and I don't recall if they were originally wanted to make like a party-based MMO or if they just wanted to take the elements of MMO and put it into Xenoblade, but that's there. Like, that's why that's there.
I'd really like them to remake 10 because that's the Wii U one, and I would like to play that one. Or X, I guess. Maybe it's
X,
not 10.
Xenoblade Chronicles X. Yeah, the one with the big
that
mechs
one's like
and
the
shit.
Yeah, buddy. That's the big mech game, and I want that. Where's
Yeah.
that one at? I bet
heard
they'll
it's
give
cool.
it to us, though.
I heard it's cool.
Something tells me they'll remake that one because, I mean, they've put this one out several times now, so I would assume they'll do that again, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck,
we
dude,
don't
do
really.
we even have time?
There's not really much to say. Anyway.
I will say this is the most impressive Humble Bundle I've seen in a fucking long time. Like, it's actually
I mean, the
really
current
good
one is
Humble
really
Bundle.
good. Like the current monthly is really good, but yeah, this is a decent one. If I didn't own all this stuff already,
Yeah, so
I'd
this
be
is like
into it,
their
but
COVID-19 benefit bundle.
yeah. It's only $20, which is really good for
Yeah,
what you're
Baba's
getting
You,
here.
Into the Breach.
Yeah.
I don't want to name every game in here.
War Groove
Hyperlight
is really
Drifter.
good. Super
I've
hot.
always wanted to play
Witness.
Tooth and Nail, and I never have, so I might end up getting this bundle because Tooth and Nail always looked really cool.
Yeah, that's like a strategy game, right?
It's kind of
Or no,
like
it-
tactics, yeah. It's kind of like a
Oh, yeah,
tactics
yeah.
game. The Witness, I haven't played it. I heard it was great. That'd be cool to play.
Witness is really good. Yeah, it's really good. If you like puzzle games at all, it's like absolutely mandatory that you play that game.
Titan Quest
Brutal
is,
Legends
dude.
is cool.
Titan Quest is a really good. I'm not super into ARPGs, but Titan Quest is a really, really, really good one.
Yeah, it's super old now, but yeah, it is good. I mean, I remember playing it years ago. It's
I mean, the
been a long time, but I
anniversary
remember,
is like the revamped, like upgraded version. It's like,
Oh,
it
is
looks
it?
really good. Yeah, it looks really good actually. Like still, like it looked good at the time. It still looks pretty good today.
Oh, looks like I already own it.
Well, yeah, if you
didn't-
owned, I think if you owned the game and like the DLC, there was something where if you owned some facet of that game at some point, you got the anniversary edition.
Oh, well, look at that, Skyrim. How cool is that? Way to actually give it to people that earned it, you fucks.
I don't know how you didn't, because I got the legendary edition. I have no idea. How
I
you
talk
didn't.
too much shit about Todd Howard's penis, dude, and that's just what it is in the streets right now. All right, maybe I'll download this game and play it again. I haven't played this game in a long time. I guess I'll give it a old DL and see what happens.
Wargroove is one I always wanted to pick up on Switch, but never did. So
You
that'd be
should.
cool to play.
It's good on the Switch. You should save
Yeah.
it because it gets really cheap on the Switch anyway. I
Oh.
would just wait. That's
Wargroove
Switch.
also has crossplay too, so
It does, and it has. I believe you can go to the Steam Workshop stuff on the Switch one and download all the maps and content people make. Because I think it just sends everything to something, and then you can pull it
that's
from there.
fucking
So
rad. That's
all the
really
like,
cool.
yeah, it's some good shit. Every game should do it. Every game needs a Switch cross save. Just because fuck off. Here's the thing. Don't make your own handheld console. Just let Nintendo put your thing on it and then do that. Like imagine if Sony was like, fuck the PSP. We're just putting everything cross save with Switch.
Oh yeah, come on.
I mean, come on, dude. Come on. Come on.
But yeah, that's an impressive string of games there.
It's pretty good. Saints Row the Third's a really fun one too if you never played that game somehow. And then Euro Truck Simulator, pretty relaxing. Also, I'll say the only thing that's like really interesting. I mean, PS5's getting new controller colors. Good luck, they're gonna be stolen the second they get to the shelf. So I wouldn't even worry about looking at those.
That maroon one looks pretty good, or whatever color that
Dude,
is.
any of them look better than white because the back of this thing is miserable looking, and I've cleaned it about 4 different times, and it's
so
just
funny.
a dirt monster.
Sony's such a fucking weasel of a company, because they were out there saying like, oh, this is one color option, we're not doing any color options. Also, if you're trying to sell third-party shells, we're shutting you down because we have no
And
plans
skins,
to
I
do.
think even maybe not
Yeah.
skins, but I know shells they were doing.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna release their own, even though they say they have no plans to. Like, why else would you go after people making like 3D printed stuff if you didn't feel like your business was being threatened?
Well, we're looking at it right here. I mean,
Yeah.
they already got them. And I wish I had have known that, and I would have waited, because I really like this controller, but damn, do I not want to pay $70 again.
Yeah.
I
mean, that thing
maybe
is
I could
built.
resell this one for cheap, and then, like, if I could sell this one for half, maybe that would be fine. I could do that, but...
Yeah.
Because I really like the control. I love the PS5 controller. It's fantastic, but it's dirty
I
as
want
hell.
more. I think that Steam opened up their controller configuration stuff to support the haptic feedback stuff. I think.
I don't know, because it's up to the game to do it. And so if the game doesn't support it on the PC version of it, then it's not going to do it.
Well, that's the whole thing about the Steam controller configuration stuff, is that it essentially will force games, like you dictate what the inputs are. Like, you could load up Fable, for example, and like just load up that Steam configuration and just say, okay, this dual stage, because this is how it works with the Steam controller. Like, hey, I do a soft pull, it does this. I do a hard pull, it does this. And I'm almost willing to bet, like, at some point Steam will, if they haven't already, open that stuff up to where you can just like customize the haptic stuff.
I mean, you may be able to do that. I was saying though, per game, you would have to have someone would have to make like an overlay per, because like in Call of Duty, every gun feels different. So it's like every trigger
Yeah,
fire is a
yeah.
different setup.
I'm
So it's
saying
like,
I'm saying like retroactive, like I don't know. I use like the Steam controller profiles in like games that don't support controllers in some instances, and like you can do some neat stuff with that.
sure.
It's a hacky solution. It's not like I get what you mean, like baking the feature into the game, and I don't think that would
Well,
happen for PC. Maybe I don't know, but
like if Horizon Zero Dawn 2 comes to PC, maybe because like
yeah,
it's a first party. It's well, basically it's a studio they own, but the PC has the support for the controller, so maybe they would do it. Because hell, I mean the iPad has I can Bluetooth it to my iPad and it recognizes it immediately. So obviously the support for some stuff is there, so
yeah.
maybe it happens. And I could see somebody on Steam getting anal enough to do that for a game. Like I could imagine they're like, oh, here's original Doom, but with haptic feedback triggers for some reason, or like here's Half-Life 1, but you got modded triggers now, so all the guns feel different. But I could imagine. I don't know. I mean, I see. I could. Yeah, it's possible. I don't know why I'm saying no.
Somebody out there is working on something. Somebody's always working on something.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could check if it has. I mean, I could just plug it in right now and see if it says anything. If you want to talk about.
Yeah, I actually
none of
haven't
those
seen
other
this
two
for
things.
myself. This GTA machine learning stuff.
Pull it up real quick. It's pretty wild. The screenshots look better because they do side by sides, but the side by sides it looks worse. But if you look at like actually it playing just itself, it looks incredibly good.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, dude, that's pretty wild. GTA versus. Oh yeah, look at those. Holy shit.
You see what I'm saying? When it's like with the game is like heavily detailed, so it like somewhat looks better. But yeah, if you like that screenshot below it, like that looks like a real highway to me.
Oh, this right here? Yeah, this looks like straight up a photograph, kind of.
Oh no, I'm saying the one under it, that one.
Yeah,
That looks
no, I was
more
just
like a
going
real
back
street
and
to
forth
me.
between them. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Oh yeah, because I was looking at the stream, not our actual Discord. So
You're
that
good.
was
You're good. You're
that's
good.
why I was like seeing the delay. But yeah, look at that shit. Dude, look at that shit. I mean, it's obviously a bit pixelated, but it just looks like somebody took a bad camera shot real quick.
Yeah,
Or at least from the
this
stream.
doesn't-
Again, it could be. I'm dumb as fuck. It could be obviously better in the actual thing, but it looks crazy good.
I wonder because it doesn't seem like it's. There's also a perceptual discriminator that generates a realism score, and as you might have guessed, real-world images are also fed into the algorithm. So I kind of get that. Like, hey, I see a car. Let's pull in, kind of like make some photos look like a car and apply that on top. It doesn't look like it's like a real-time thing, though. It looks like something they passed the footage through. But could you imagine? That'd be pretty cool. Like having like a real-time like AI filter to make games look like that. I know that like
Yeah.
for
I mean,
emulating,
it's basically what Microsoft Flight Simulator is doing. So
yeah.
it would effectively be something similar to that, but just for the streets.
So I know that like for some PC, like older PC games and some emulators are doing like machine learned like texture stuff, which is neat. And a lot of that is just like processed before the game actually starts.
Isn't that basically what DLSS is though?
No,
Isn't that
DLSS
it
is
was
basically just like it's like a. How do I put it? I don't exactly. I'm not an NVIDIA like technician or engineer, so I can't go into the details. But from what I know, I think DLSS is essentially just taking the individual pixels of the upscaled image or the underscaled image and applying.
here we go. DLSS is a NVIDIA RTX that uses the power of artificial intelligence to boost your frame rate in games and graphically intensive workloads. With DLSS, gamers can use higher resolutions and settings while maintaining solid frame rate.
Yes, it's machine learning in the fact that it takes the assets of the game you're running and understands what they would look like at a higher like resolution and applies some kind of like engine trickery to like get that image quality there.
Okay, well here I can tell you how it works right here. If you just let me read the second one.
Go ahead,
I don't think you're far off, but it's like first DLSS team first extracts many alias frames from the targeted game, and then for each of them we generate a matching perfect frame using either super sampling or accumulated rendering. These paired frames are fed to NVIDIA's supercomputer. The supercomputer trains the DLSS model to recognize alias inputs and generates high-quality anti-aliased images that match the perfect frame as closely as possible. We then repeat the process, but this time train the model to generate additional pixels rather than applying anti-aliasing. This has the effect of increasing the resolution of the input. Combining both techniques enables the GPU to render the full monitor resolution at higher frame rates.
Welcome to our tech pod. We're talking RTX.
We're talking somewhat older technology, but still probably the coolest technology that's come out. Dude, again, as we've said many times, but DLSS is way cooler than fucking ray tracing. I'll tell you that right now.
That was the generational thing. That was the like people are like, oh, what is RTX like? Really, like ray tracing? Okay, I totally
DLSS,
understand.
Bitch. That's the
DLSS is the thing. That was the next gen feature.
100%, and they just snuck it right in there, and that's fine.
Yeah, I know that AMD has like Fidelity something is like their version of it.
Oh, Fidelity FX? Fidelity
I think
Cast
that's
or
what
something
the
like
consoles are using. But like Nintendo, if they continue to work with NVIDIA, they'll hopefully have some DLSS on a mobile chipset.
If that console has DLSS, my God, dude, that makes me so... It has to, dude, it has to.
Dude. I'm a bust,
if it's
honestly.
If it's trying to produce 4K at even 30... and especially if it's 60 frames, there is no way that thing can do that without that.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
And keep cool and do everything else it needs to. I don't see a foreseeable way for that to happen without it. Unless, unless it's all completely done in whatever the new dock thing is. It's hard to believe that happens otherwise.
But where I think that will happen. I think that the dock is going to have additional hardware, at least on the TV, to do the scaling.
Maybe,
I don't know. I really don't.
But see
know.
But the only other problem is then what happens when it's in handheld? Is it just piss poor? Because you're still running this like new OLED, and because if they're talking about a screen, that's a screen that's.
So if you're rendering 720 handheld and it's a 720 display, that's a 1-to-1 ratio. So it's not like it's gonna look bad. The problem is that the current resolution of the 3DS screen, the handheld. Like, I think the handheld rendering doesn't quite match it on some games, so you end up getting like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 looks like shit on handheld. Like, looks like absolute shit on handheld.
Sure.
It's like a blurred fucking mess. So if they are able to match the frames, like 30 frames handheld, take it or leave it. I don't give a shit, honestly, either way. 60 on the dock at all times is what I'd really expect. But at least like 1-to-1 pixel ratio and like being able to like keep that consistently between the games is the thing that I'm most pining for, because right now you run into that a lot.
Well, here's the thing: is like this is the worrisome part, I guess, is that first the Nintendo Switch does not fully support 1080p. So if it's already struggling with 1080p, they gotta really pull out something to get fucking 4K. Which I'm not saying they can't do it. It's just it is one of those things where like I don't know. I mean, we've had plenty of advances in 4 years, so maybe it'll be
for sure
be great. But I'm not.
I think we're at that point.
Here's what I'm really. This is the secret. Is I'm really just trying to downplay it. So if anybody out there listens to this episode and they're thinking about getting a Switch Pro, especially if they're a scalper, they're gonna go.
Oh, dude, hold on. I heard it sucked and nobody wants to buy one.
Yeah. I think it's terrible. I think it's really bad.
I got an insider. He said, "Dude, you don't want any of this. This is
no. You don't. I heard it's stupid. I heard they won't even play the Switch games you already have. You have to rebuy all your library.
I heard
so it's basically like
eat their boogers and drink their own pee. You don't want to be one of those guys.
Yeah. I've heard that they eat farts. And they like it.
And
they said they can't get enough of it.
And their moms are stupid, and my dad can beat up their dad, dude. I know. I know. I've heard all of it.
And I've heard that they drink their own pee not to save money, but because they like the taste. Dude,
Yeah.
come
Come
on,
on, dude.
dude,
At least do it in the woods
gross.
to survive. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, at least do it to drop that water bill by about 30 cents every 8 years. Or whatever these extreme cheapskates do.
Fucking
Tired of 'em.
assholes. Yeah, don't buy
I
one.
watch way too much TLC.
Don't
Don't
buy
buy a
one.
Switch Pro, man.
I'll gladly
Let me
be
get
labeled
let
a
me
PP
get one
drinker
first,
to
and I'll
have-
tell you if it's good. How about that?
Yeah,
We'll both get one, and we'll tell you guys if it's good. How about that?
It depends on the consistency of yellow in the pee. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, all I drink is
Don't
Dr.
be-
Pepper, so that shit comes out kind of brown. So
Just that DP, dog?
I don't actually drink nothing but soda. I drink dude. Honestly, I've been trying to lose weight. Just a little lifestyle update. Been trying to lose weight and been drinking a lot of water and trying to eat less. And I feel like it's working. But yeah, I'm trying
Dude,
to
soda
stay.
is fucking awful. It'll
I'm
destroy
trying to-
you.
I will have a Coke Zero every once in a while now. It used to be like every day I was getting like a energy drink or soda, but I'm really trying to, like, even on the diet stuff, like, slow the fuck down.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, watching TLC, dude, those 1,000-pound sisters, you know what they be doing? Drinking 6 or 7 sodies a day, boy. And you know what? They're 1,000 fucking pounds, so don't do it.
Yeah, trying to
Use that as
avoid
the example.
getting craned out of my house.
Dude, actually, if this is the intention is to try and drop some pounds, you should watch some of that because it'll make you change everything about your life. If you see these fools trying to operate, I'm not even joking. Like God, it's miserable. And then and the amount of excuses and stuff too, and especially when you can read the excuse on someone else, so then you go, man, I can't make an excuse like that if I'm seeing these fools do it, and it's just infuriating. So if I do one, I'm telling you, if you want a weight loss program, fucking watch 1,000-pound sisters, dude. It'll get you skinny, no problem. What is Do SA?
Do SA? I don't know.
USA,
I did
but,
try. So they released like Sergeant Melon, which is like a watermelon flavored Mountain Dew. It's pretty good. I tried both the sugared and the zero sugar versions. Zero sugar version, it's all right.
It's red, white, and blue Mountain Dew.
Oh, the S.
That's
Oh,
what
dude,
Do SA is.
I'm good.
I think I had purple. I guess.
I think I had
'cause of that.
during 4th of July a couple years ago. It does just taste
I
like
did-
they put a bunch of flavors together. Yeah.
I did try that watermelon one. It's the first soda I've drank in probably 15 years because I used to drink Mountain Dew when I was horny for soda as a kid. And I was like, I'll try this. And I took 3 sips out of it. And then for like a week and a half, I took a sip every other day. And because it was too fucking much, but it did taste kind of good. It was good, but there was no fucking way I was going to be able to finish even what is the size of these things? 20 ounce?
Yeah.
No way. No way, dude. I could feel my arteries closing. And,
2 more things and we'll get the fuck out of
my
here.
mind
quick.
weak.
Sorry.
Yeah. There's not okay as far as news goes. Yeah, that I just think the Destiny 2 thing is really just they're trying to make this game Warframe by making everything take 12 days to complete.
It's
is what
so
it seems
stupid, man. Because this is the one feature everybody has wanted since the game fucking released. And then they do this. I read a little bit about how this works, where you essentially have to get, like, dailies and weekly quests, and then you get, you get thread, and then you create strands or something, and then you create the weave. And it all takes very fucking long to do. And you have to do it per
sounds
part.
really cool.
Is what it sounds
really
like.
Cool.
It's
yeah,
not like,
it seems like it's every piece.
Yeah, I get that you want people to stay invested in the game, but really, like,
yeah, but that's not how you do it.
No,
that's not how you do it. Like that's just forced trauma on other shit in a game that's already kind of frustrating and sort of the same over and over again. So you're just like, well, why don't we just make them do more of it, but even elongate it further? And you're like, dude, is it real? Like, is it just going to be a system that people just give up on? Because you're like, it's not worth it to change my pants once to then use this. To spend, upwards of 24 hours to get a pair of pants that look different. I'm just not into it.
And at least on the Warlock class, like, there's only a couple sets that are, like, super appealing to me anyway. Like, the year 1, like, raid set.
Yeah.
Actually looks really good, like the white and gold, like kind of default look of it. Like I actually really like the way that looks. A lot of the
Well,
a lot of the DLC expansion like sets looked like shit to me. Like not to talk shit about the artists, they do fantastic work. I'm talking specifically for the Warlock. I never quite found one that looked as good as I wanted it to. I've seen some cool Titan armors and like some cool Hunter armors and stuff, but at least for the Warlock aesthetics, I feel like they just never quite got there. So to like have me
dude,
battle
okay,
this whole system to like maybe get a decent looking set, like
okay, let me just read, and this is from Polygon, but let me just read what this says, how this works, right? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Destiny 2's transmog system called Armor Synthesis in-game has 3 different synth materials: synth strand, synth cord, synth weave. The process starts with collecting 150 synth strand, which Guardians do by killing enemies in the wild. Then the players spend all 150 synth strand on bounties from Ada, the armor synthesis vendor. The bounty player then gets a random objective themed after the player's choice of strikes, crucibles, gambit, destinations, or raids. When the player completes the objective, they get 100 synth cord. Guardians then need to go back to Ada to turn in 100 synth cord for synth weave, which is the color coded based on the class that player uses when they turn in the synth cord. Player then uses the synth weave to unlock their favorite armor looks, turning them into universal ornaments that can override the look of any armor piece within that without changing its stats. Normally, Guardians can only acquire 10 synth weave per class each season, but Bungie is giving players extra during the seasons of the Splicers tutorial mission. Bungie revealed the bizarre multi-step process a few weeks prior to the season. The limit of only 10 synthweave a season was a primary cause of frustration, as a number of hoops players need to jump through. This whole process is even more frustrating, knowing that Bungie allows players to pay real money to bypass all of it and purchase unlimited amounts of synthweave. Yep, that's pretty fucking annoying.
Yeah, pretty stupid.
It's that same thing with everything with Destiny, where there's like 900 currencies, and they're like, you know what? What if we get 2 more currencies, but then we split that second currency into 3 different currencies, and then we'll then refine it back to another currency? And you're like, just fucking let us put the armor in and put this other thing in it, pay some glitter or whatever the fuck it's called in that game, and get out. Like, just stop.
Real quick, Captain Red Rocket said, like, Destiny seems way too excessive now. And I'll say, like, they've made steps. Like, they wiped a bunch of old content. It's still daunting to, like, get in there and, like, figure out what you're doing. But once you get the ropes on what you're doing, you can get into a good rhythm now. This just seems unnecessary. Like, what they're doing with this transmog stuff seems like a step backwards.
I think it's just all much. I think I'm with him, though. I think it's all just too much pageantry to shoot a gun in space. Like, it's just, there's all too, you know what I mean? Like, there's just too much bullshit for shooting a gun in space. Like, play Borderlands, honestly. Like, it's just as fun, and, I mean, the shooting's not as tight, but it doesn't matter. It's not sucking your own P-Tom. And they're getting a second expansion pass to that game. So Borderlands 3 may be the last Borderlands ever. They're just gonna keep going.
I don't know. I think
there's
always
fun,
this wave when Destiny comes out where like there's a new thing that's out and like my group of friends gets Destiny. I get into it for a few weeks. And then I remember why I stopped playing Destiny, and then I stopped playing Destiny.
Yeah. We all got suckered into it like a month or 2 ago. And here we are again, not playing Destiny anymore.
Yeah. I don't even think I have that game installed right now.
Probably not, because it's 900 gigs also.
Yeah.
So if you don't really want it, then it's,
All right.
That's it.
Yeah, we're hitting fucking almost 2 hours on this shit. Real quick, I do want to show this off. This was also announced. This looks sick.
It better not be ton. Oh, yeah. Is this not already available now, though?
No, I don't think it's out yet. This is coming out in June, I think. But essentially, Nintendo made Dreams. I know that's like not actually what happened here, but that's like the fun tagline. Yeah, man. Making games has always been. I like with Mario Maker and stuff. Like I kind of like making the levels and stuff, but I really just like playing the things people make because people are fucking way more creative than I am in scenarios like that. So this seems like it's going to be a cool avenue to like discover what people are building and
I'm curious to see how deep this is though, because like the stuff they've showed, it seems like very simple. Like it honestly, it kind of seems like Mario Maker, but just without Mario in it. So I'm like curious to know like what the actual extent of the game you can make is. You know
Well,
what
it's
I mean?
way more logical than Mario Maker. Like you're essentially building the game mechanics, which is like what is cool to me.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. But that's why. Well, okay, so that's a little bit different there.
yeah, I mean they show a couple of varieties of like different games you can make. I don't think that this is going to do nearly the justice that like some people are going to have. Like, dude, people are going to go in ape shit on this. Like that's what I'm excited for. Is like seeing the
Yeah,
dudes that are like doing nothing but this. Like, yeah, I want to see
yeah.
what people can come up with.
I
Um,
guess the big issue is how intuitive does it. I mean, it looks super intuitive, but how intuitive is it really? And then how does it, perform on
yeah,
the
yeah, for sure.
on the Switch? That's always the big concern. But
It's just
you're right.
neat.
Play Borderlands 2. That's a good point. You're right.
I never played
That's still the best one.
I never played Wario DIY, but a lot of people were making comparisons between this and that because DIY you could make like your own little micro games, and it was like super
Yeah,
intricate.
I was about to say it does look like that, or reminded me like some of it reminded me of like low key Game and Watch stuff also, but it did give me a WarioWare vibe.
Yeah,
But this is great, but they should give us a WarioWare game also if they're gonna be goofing around like this.
WarioWare Gold, man, that was the last Nintendo published 3DS game, and it
Yeah.
is a good collection of all of those games.
Yeah,
WarioWare
where's it
Gold's
at now?
fantastic. I think you can still
Holy
buy it.
shit.
I think it's somewhere.
That's really upsetting that a Genesis game came out and it's almost 30 years old.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! Okay, yeah. So here's the part of the show where we talk about games that
Boy.
came out a long time ago.
Boy, that's upsetting.
Um,
Yeah.
Dude, Animaniacs on the Genesis, I loved that fucking game as a kid.
It is a
was
cool
so
game,
much
yeah.
fun. Loved that goddamn game. Not the original
Don't know
Fire
that
Emblem,
one.
but
Don't know that one.
yeah.
That's Sensen no Kefu, dog. And everybody knows about that.
It's Kifu. Dude. Come on. Come
Yeah,
on.
Sensen no Kifo, dude. Give me the straight weed, no Keef, dog. Come on.
Were you ever into the Guilty Gear games?
Nah, I mean, as always, I've never really been huge on fighting games. I've tried them because I own, I don't know, 2 or 3 of them on the PC through bundles and other bits of nonsense.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, not really. I mean, they've always been like weirdly confusing, or I've just maybe not understood what I'm doing in those games enough. Like
Yeah.
I've not given them much time to be fair. Now, Enter the Matrix down there a little bit. Now, boy, I've been playing a lot of that Enter the Matrix, dog.
I actually did put that on the GameCube. I kind of wanna see what that's about. I played it on the
It's
Xbox way back.
I play it on the PS2. Yeah, it's hey, it's alright, dude. If you like Max Payne, it's basically Max Payne, but the Matrix instead.
Did you know
It's
that's
Max Payne,
Jada
but-
Pinkett Smith in that game playing the main character? I don't know if you knew that. In Into
what?
the Matrix, the video game. That's Jada Pinkett Smith playing the character. Like, I remember they made an effort to like try and capture like the Hollywood like essence of the Matrix for that game. Like they really tried
Yeah.
to make it like a secondary like movie experience rather than. I mean, the game from what I remember was pretty alright, but like they were really actually trying to like build a Matrix universe with the games, but they didn't keep going, I guess.
Well, yeah. I mean, that game, I think that's the one I've definitely played it, but I'm trying to think. No, that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, that game's pretty all right.
Yeah, I remember liking it, so I'm
How much
gonna
is
try
it?
that again.
I'm curious. Oh, dude, you used $10 on eBay, dude? $6 on eBay? Dude, come on, dude. I might have to be finding this one.
I'll say Bomberman Max. I actually like those games quite a bit. I only played the Game Boy Color games, but they did make Game Boy Advanced versions of those games. And
What's
Bomberman Max?
what is-
So like you have like a. It's been a minute since I played it, but from what I remember, you have like maps like in Bomberman, but it's like more exploration. It's not like just a big square and you're doing the square and killing enemies and winning. You have like a map that you're traversing through, and then at the end you free like a caged animal, and they're like the first one you get, his name's Pommy. He was from Bomberman 2 on the N64. They're like not bomb chew, something close. You get these creatures called like bomb somethings, and they give you like additional abilities, and it.
Oh yeah, bomb chews are from like Choo Choo Rocket, right?
No,
Is
bomb
it the
chews are
same?
from Legend of Zelda.
Oh,
Whoa.
eat a dick. What was the? What was
fucking
the? Well, there. What are the ones on Choo Choo Rocket called? Then?
I never played Choo Choo Rocket, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I know. What a sin.
Eat my ass.
Yeah, it's sin. Never played Choo Choo Rocket.
Well, who makes Bomberman? Is that Konami?
No. Fuck. No. Hudsoft.
Oh yeah, come on, legacy of nerd over here.
Hudsoft makes Bomberman. I don't know if they do anymore. Konami now publishes, but that's always been like a Hudson Soft game.
Okay. God, developers: Hudson Soft, Ragen, Konami, Backbone, Hexadrive, PI Studios, publishers: Hudson Soft, Konami, Activision, Atlas, Majestic, Nintendo, Red Star, Ubisoft, Vivendi, Universal. So no one makes this game or publishes
Everybody
it.
makes this game.
Yeah,
I'm surprised Bethesda's
open
not on
source?
that list. Yeah, they got the Bumblebee logo. That's exactly how I remember Hudson Soft. They're right at the beginning
I played a
of
game
every
the other
Bomberman
day
game.
on PS2. They had the Hudson Soft logo, and I hadn't seen it in forever, but I can't remember what it was now.
I don't know if they're like the forefront anymore. Like I think that they're still. I don't know what Hudson Soft does anymore. They did a lot of stuff before, but
well, hold on. Hudson Soft founded May 18th. Hey, they founded my birthday in 1973, 47 years ago. About to be 48 years ago. And it was defunct on March 1st, 2012, 9 years ago. So they don't do shit.
Okay. All right. I knew they were absorbed something.
Not about to be 48 years old.
Yeah. I do like the Bomberman games, though. Bomberman Heroes fun. Bomberman Jetters, Generations. I'm into the Bomberman games. They're good.
They made Bloody Roar also, and I really like Bloody Roar. That was one of my favorite fighting games.
Super Bomberman R, very good game. I just wish that the base version had the multiplayer that they made for Stadia, because Bomberman single player is not a whole lot of fun. It's all right. But Bomberman, Super Bomberman R, they actually did a bunch of cool stuff with that game. They did a bunch of like skins, like you could play that game as like Solid Snake and shit, and like Terry. Or not Terry. A couple of their like fighting game characters. You can play as them.
Sure.
But yeah. Anyway, off that rabbit hole.
I just know nothing about Bomberman, I guess is basically what I didn't say, but him saying. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I love Bomberman. Good games. Bomberman 64, fucking classic. Very good game. The Legacy of Goku games on the Game Boy Advance, those are actually pretty good. I think I'm going to give those a spin.
I remember playing that one as a kid and getting really frustrated with it and returning it to EB Games. So I don't know if it maybe is good, and I don't remember, but I've never cared about it.
Hey, I want you to guess
maybe that's why.
The storyline of Legacy of Goku.
I think I'm all right on trying to figure that out.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of the games at the end I have not really ever played myself.
I mean, Rage 2 is fine. A Plague Innocence is pretty good. Bloodstain, good. Cooking Simulator can be okay. Yeah.
They should put that on the box.
Well, it's got some weird performance stuff, and there's like a Switch version of it, but I have no idea why you would ever play that game on the Switch.
Okay. I thought this was just some generic fucking game. I didn't know it was like an actual...
No. It's a proper game. The Switch version I would 100% avoid. But the PC one is fun enough. It's kind of interesting.
I thought you were just like, Cooking Simulator. That's a game.
It is. Well, you can get it for as low as $2 on the Switch, so you know it's pretty good when it retails for like $25. But yeah, I have no idea what Roagar, Asuka, and the King of Steel is.
Yeah. That's games, everybody. Oh, we missed the coolest one. Game Boy Advance Video Sonic X Volume 1. Come on.
Okay. Well, that's it for me, guys. I'm good. I'm good. So that's it. Thank you guys for joining us.
I can't believe it. Silenced again.
Yeah, dude, all you Sonic fans are gonna get the same treatment, dude.
Yeah,
No,
find
that's
me
not
over
true,
the
but-
Deadly Robot on Facebook, Instagram, basically anywhere. Be on the lookout because I will be purchasing the domain and building the website over the next couple weeks, and I am looking forward to that. So
Ooh.
tell your mom and your
Ooh.
dad.
Tell your
I actually thought about
brother and
like
yeah.
I thought about like printing a bunch of QR code stickers and just placing them around. That will just
You
go
could.
to the website.
I could send you a few places because I've had stickers made a couple times for pretty cheap.
Yeah. I'm thinking about doing that. Like just putting them
You
up
can
in,
get about
like, hey, go to the YMCA downtown. Just put a couple of those up. Oh, this
Oh,
guy's
you
not a
don't wanna do
SoundCloud rapper. I'm out.
You got to put them outside of GameStops, and that's the only. Put it on their door handle, so it's wrapped around so you can't use it. No, I don't
Hey,
know. I mean,
for every game purchase, can y'all give somebody a couple of these to give their friends?
dude, I bet you GameStop would bring the hammer down hard. Everyone in that
dude.
store get fired, and everyone under them would all get fired, and then they would just do all new rehires.
And then they would have
they
to
would
do
come
like
for
an
you.
American Gladiator for overtime pay.
Yeah. Apparently, they're doing a full restructure of the company, and they're going like, because that's why they started selling PC parts, and they're doing some other crazy shit. I'd have to ask Trey again for actually the full breakdown of what's happening, or I could look it up, I guess. But apparently, they've made it to where they're not going bankrupt anymore, and they're redoing their company, which is cool and also upsetting at the same time. Because
So they're
in a way.
From what I
I
understand,
can't keep going. I'm sorry.
okay.
I have to get off, but.
Yeah, you're fine. All right.
But next week we can talk about GameStop's restructuring or whatever if we remember,
yeah.
or we might not.
Hell
It's
yeah.
hard to say.
Stay tuned for my solo episode this weekend where I do nothing but talk about GameStop.
Sure. All right, everyone.
All right.
We'll see y'all next week.